What's up, guys? Welcome to another reaction of mine. We're about to react to Gamescom 2025 Day 4. The live stream already, it's still going, but they're still rerunning the 2 hour Gamescom of today, Sunday, August 24th. So, let's react to it. Hold on, give me a minute here. Let me just change the mic here. I have a little mic here problem. Sort of be.
Okay. You guys hear me? Check, check. Mic check. Okay. Yeah, we good right here.
Lot. But today's Gamescom Studio Show is all about podcasts, something that IGN knows a whole lot about. If you're looking for deep, insightful, and occasionally pretty silly long-form conversations about video games, you came to the right place. Today we've got brand new Gamescom Studio episodes of Geek Media shows like Outside.
We got a UK podcast, Outside Xbox, later Nintendo voice chat. Wait, Nintendo voice chat? They're talking about Nintendo Switch 2? Now they're bringing back the voice chat or something? Then after we have next gen console watch. Okay.
Xbox, Nintendo voice chat, and next gen console watch, all here to
let's react to
the
this
biggest video game news here at Gamescom. Plus, I'll be taking a look ahead at September's biggest game releases besides Silksong.
They got Metal Gear Solid and
Silent Hill in the background. Crazy
British
dudes on the IGN UK podcast. Cowabunga, check it out.
Okay, let's check this out. Probably some gameplay or something.
Hello and welcome to the IGN UK podcast, a show all about the latest video games, movies and TV shows. I'm Simon Cardy and this week I'm joined by Jesse Gomez.
Hello.
And Matt Perslow.
Hello.
And this week, for 1 week only, we are actually in living colour on the stage of Gamescom because it's a special occasion.
Gamescom
we get our faces out. People like to see him. I like to see yours, Matt.
What a rare treat.
I know. Isn't it just lovely? Well, we're going to talk a bit about... We're going to pick a game each from the show that we
looks like
playing, and then at the end we'll do a little bit
Hollywood Studios, or what is it?
I don't think there'll be much time to talk about crisps today.
Universal Studios?
Topic of choice.
When there's like a lot of movie things.
We're going to have to talk about video games because
this could be like Universal
Gamescom,
Studios.
It's all in the name, Matt.
But like for games.
Because I played Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. Arguably the biggest surprise reveal from opening night live. And if people don't know what this game is, it's essentially an Arkham game, the Rocksteady games, but in Lego.
Let's skip a little bit to the gameplay. Look, they still have that duck right here, the flaming duck. Okay, I don't think they show gameplay. Oh yeah, Batman.
Form, and
they're talking about
kind of what
Lego Batman.
People want to see, and I think they'll be happy to know
that Lego
I played
Batman.
it, and I pretty much felt like, yeah, this is an Arkham game,
hey,
but in Lego form with still that charm.
Again,
but,
Mr.
you've
Freeze.
got that like tight, rock-steady combat. Just you're hitting bricks instead of flesh.
Oh, that's Detective Gordon.
To hit flesh.
But
this time we're hitting plastic.
Oh, we are
We're
barely minutes
into the podcast.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Wait, who
what
are these guys?
What would you like to know about Lego Batman?
So, what did you actually?
It's not Mr. Freeze. It's
playing through this game. What was the scenario?
That's a good question, Jesse. What did I do?
Could be
I
Scarecrow,
played a full
Joker.
mission early on from Lego Batman, and it was set in Ace Chemicals. It was me as Batman with Jim Gordon, and we went through Ace Chemicals tracking down Red Hood. If you're familiar with some of the stories
Red Hood
from Batman, you might know what happens at the end of that mission. Maybe Red Hood turns into a different villain. If you've read The Man Who Laughs, you'll know what happens. If you've seen Tim Burton's 1989 Batman, you might kind of know what happens.
Yeah, the gameplay, they're trying to make it...
What they're doing with the story of this game, they're trying to make
it like in a Batman...
their own
Arkham Asylum
story.
Type of Batman.
Bits and bobs from all other films and comics and games and try and, eventually I was told by the director that this game, Joker may have this origin story, but later on the story may morph into more of the Heath Ledger Joker from The Dark Knight.
That's
so you're
pretty cool.
Getting
versions of not really my type of game.
Versions,
but the action
it makes sense
and
for
combat,
Lego, right? Because Lego is all about pulling bricks together
from the
and making your own creations. But it's essentially the bricks of the films, right? And the comics
What a lovely little metaphor, man.
Oh, you know.
It almost sounds like the pick and mix of Batman.
It's like, exactly. But I enjoyed it. I also got a little taste of the open world, which I only got to play that for like 8-10 minutes.
Doesn't Fortnite have a Lego world that I remember? They have a Lego world, like just everything Lego, mining Lego, creating Lego houses and everything. Maybe they could do a little collab there.
I feel like that's where a lot of people's joy will come. I really love Lego Marvel Superheroes, which was a good 10 years ago at least now.
Oh, Lego Marvel.
Kind of going around that open world and kind of.
Oh, and they had Batman on it.
There's Riddler trophies people will be pleased to see.
Oh,
There's
never mind.
This is
still Batman.
time trials to do. There's,
Whoa, dude.
That's where I feel like a lot of the fun's going to come.
It
the
looks
missions
smooth.
themselves, very fun as well. And we can see here there's like
it's
a
perfect
football
for like
rolling across. There's that Lego
young
silliness,
gamers,
like,
you know, like
you can do the stealth takedowns from like
people
perches,
that are still
but instead of just like
learning how to
flying down
game
and battering them, he'll land.
But
on
it's still
them,
fun
like,
for
with his
everybody.
arms.
Classic Batman, but I want to know how close to the Arkham style combat is it?
Oh, hear that?
It's pretty similar. It's not
similar.
At least from what I play, not going to be as complex. I don't think there's going to be many like intricate button combos.
But you've got the counters, right?
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
You see here,
Looks
you can
easy.
punch with square if you're on a PlayStation controller, counter with triangle, and
It's
then
all
once
square,
your meters
and they
build
hit
up
the
on left
triangle
there,
to do a
you
little,
can use R1 to do a finisher. So
a sick
there's
finisher.
Against grunts, it's pretty standard.
Ah.
Then there's kind of more bruiser, brawler enemies, I thought, which if you
It's
play the
pretty
Arkham
nice.
games, you'll kind of be familiar with how they.
I like how the
you fight
Lego
against them,
breaks.
You want to kind of
Like his head
tease
comes
the
off and
charge
everything.
out of them. They'll run
That's
at a
kinda
wall,
funny.
they'll be stunned, then you hit them for a bit, or you can do like the quick batarang
Yeah,
throw.
dude, Legos
and
are
that'll,
upgrading their game.
If you played Arkham games, you're kind of instant that
Whoa,
muscle
what
memory
the
kick to
hell?
9 yards to deal with them. But then there's also the Lego side. This isn't just
Damn.
an Arkham
Whack
game. Right?
with the
There's
trash
the Lego
can.
side where there's the puzzle, so you have to switch between the two characters. Jim Gordon in his lovely golden
I think
age
I saw the
outfit, I picked
Riddler.
from here, has a little foam cannon that you can shoot at pipes that may be spewing out acid, for example.
The factory.
And that means you can then get through that path and solve the
Damn.
puzzle. So if you played Lego games, if you played Arkham games, I think you'll be instantly
Pretty
right at
impressive
home
for
here.
a Lego,
But yeah.
a Lego
in
Batman
terms
game.
of like how similar it is to the classic kind of Lego Batman games, does it feel like a new kind of more of a 3D brawler game that uses Lego, or does it have anything in connection to those old, more the isometric sort of?
I thought the guys from
framed
the
kind of
left
Lego
were
games
the
where it was a lot
developers.
of like smashing things and rebuilding them
Or
together.
It
the
does still have that.
CEO.
So as I was going through Ace Chemicals,
guy right
which
here.
is more of a
Okay.
linear level, I was smashing things and building things to like build a big zip line to get across a certain section.
Nice.
And there was also, as I said,
There
the
it is.
puzzles to be solved, which has
The Riddler
been in,
and
what,
the-
I think it's
the Red Hood.
25 years almost now. Well,
Sure.
It's over, or no, 20 years that Lego games have been made since 2005. They've still kind
Oh,
of got
look
that
at-
formula
they're showing
here,
us the
and,
mission.
gliding
Chase the
towards
Red
Red
Hood.
Hood. Maybe something bad's going to happen to him.
That's
I
crazy.
don't know. I've played it. I could tell you, but I'm not going to. We're probably going to watch it anyway.
What I'd like to know is what is Gordon
Damn, they
doing
made it
during
very
these, okay,
cinematic.
So he's got his own glider. So
Yeah.
is he just always tagging?
This is
along,
the most
or-
cinematic
he has a
Lego
little
game
grapple. You're gonna
I've seen.
Because if you're obviously it's a single player game, but also co-op like most Lego games are. So if you're playing as Gordon,
Absolute
you don't
cinema
want to
right
just be
there.
like
That's
the
a
other
ci-
player
absolute
just
cinema
running
game right there.
around,
Hanging about.
You know, that's not going to be fun.
Yeah.
I know there's not as many characters in it as a traditional Lego game's got, like, let's say
Yeah.
200 characters. Do you feel like, is it 7 characters?
All right, I'm gonna skip that. We signed up for Lego Batman. That's tough. All right, let's go here. Let's see another game.
Oh, so much The Witcher, and that is not a disparaging remark at all. This is, as you say, it's a game.
Witcher.
It is a lot of people that worked on The Witcher 3,
Yo,
along
what
with
the-
some, kind of new developers that have joined them at this studio, Rebel Wolves, and
blood
you
of
can pretty
Dawn
much see
Walker.
even like the vibe of like
It's the
the art
vampire
style
game
and
that I
the
was saying.
graphics
I was
has
talking about yesterday.
A lot of The Witcher
blood of
to
Dawn
it.
Walker.
The music, absolutely that kind of Polish sort of Slavic feel that the Witcher 3 had.
This one and
And
Vampire
yes,
the
it is a
Masquerade
fantasy RPG, but there are
are gonna
a
be
lot of
toe to
differences
toe,
from The Witcher,
which is the best
which I
vampire
think is
game.
going to build on the strengths of that game. So essentially,
Oh,
you
okay.
play as a guy
Has the
called
Witcher
Cohen,
mechanics.
who is a human during the day.
Oh, he
kind
slices
of a little
hand.
bit like Geralt was, he's got some good swordplay, he's quite into magic.
Yeah.
But he's not
Damn,
a regular
dude.
human because at
putting in
night,
work with the
he
sword.
turns into a vampire.
Of course.
So he's stuck
Yeah.
between these two. He's a little bit like Blade, I suppose, kind of stuck between two worlds.
Oh, nice.
And when I say that he turns
like
into
Blade.
that at night, it's not.
Blade was
that's
a
not
Dawn
like
Walker
a
too.
narrative conceit. The game is literally on a
Crazy.
day-night system, and a month-long kind of like Persona-style system where the game
You
kind
said
of
the
changes.
magic
There
words,
is.
Matt.
Yeah.
So it is not a Persona game. Let's keep it that. But it has certain elements in common. So basically, Cohen's family, for some sort of
That's him
reason
when he
that I
was
don't
young?
particularly know yet, but have been taken.
When he
Cohen
was a
has
baby?
30 days across the game to save them. What you
Damn.
do in those 30 days is completely up to you. But time is a currency in this game. So
Right.
not everything that you do, but certain things.
I gotta
will
see more
push time
gameplay of this
forward.
one.
And so, for example,
More
the quest
gameplay.
that this was a very classic CD Projekt style demo that we saw where they played it and they played the quest in 2 different ways for us across an hour. And so basically, in this, Cohen needed to get a special sword. And they showed us that if you
look at the moon.
do that at night, because he becomes...
Dude, that's freaking sick. That's like an eclipse, but with a blood red moon.
A vampire, he has all the abilities of a vampire. So he can walk up walls, he can do the plane shifting thing where you can literally walk to the side of a building and walk up.
Oh, dude, that's sick. Walk on walls, pass through the walls.
Up it, he can teleport
walk
with a blink
walls.
system. And so while he was doing that, it meant that the sword that they needed to get, which was apparently hidden in this secret catacomb beneath a cathedral.
Of course.
And so basically he used the teleporting to...
Look at this guy's shirt. It's a cat riding a freaking dinosaur, a freaking T-Rex. And it has a missile on it and a machine gun. Damn.
To break into the cathedral's library, read about like these secret catacombs, steal a key, and then break into the catacombs. So it was kind of like a stealth sort of scenario, avoiding guards and all of that. Then they rewound time and showed you what it was like in the day, which is where kind of like the concept of spending time became much more clear.
Dang,
basically,
look at that.
You don't know where these catacombs are. And
because
there's no
you
way
play
to
as
get
a
to the library
vampire.
because it is now more heavily underguarded. But
you need
because
blood
you're not
to
a vampire
survive.
with weird-looking teeth, you can talk to humans during the day, and humans are obviously awake.
Oh, this is
that where more of
pre-beta.
the RPG elements come in, where you're sort of dealing with like?
Oh, this is actual gameplay.
Yeah, I would imagine that it happens at
this
both
actual gameplay here, guys.
But certainly in the day when more
there.
people are awake. So anyway, he went to the cathedral and spoke to the deacon.
Dude, that's
there,
crazy.
Of which, in that conversation, you saw how like certain dialogue choices will push time.
Dude, this game, I like the vibe of this game. But the other one in Vampire the Masquerade, the vampires right there, they look like cyberpunk / gothic vampires. They look clean. But in this one, it's like Renaissance, medieval vampires. They're traditional. They both look good looking games, to be honest.
And so what it is a case of is that like, oh, I can dig deeper in this conversation and maybe find more information out, but it's going to push me from kind of like early morning to
historic
late
accurate,
or whatever.
who knows?
Like a little brief, quick
With the
explanation.
priest
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting.
Oh, he's blind.
Yeah.
He's a blind priest.
Yeah,
he can't see.
And so basically all of your major quests, when you're pushing the goal of the major quest forward, it is ticking time along. And so basically in the quest that they showed us, you know, we helped out the deacon, which meant going down into another section of a catacomb.
This game is going to be, well, if it leans close to The Witcher 3, where it's like free roam and it's not really that linear, it could be a really good solid game right there. Free roam, explore areas, fight bosses, like The Witcher. That's nice.
Well, actually, we went to an asylum in search of some information.
Compared to Vampire the Masquerade,
so many places.
Like more linear.
And then the deacon eventually tells you about these secret catacombs. He gives you the ability to get in there, and then you go down there, find the secret sword, quest over. So 2 different ways you can do it. A bit more of a side questy diplomacy way, or a bit more of a stealth kind of infiltration way.
Narratively, is the character you're playing, is he like a new vampire spawn? Is this something that has just suddenly appeared?
He doesn't even know what he is.
Oh, okay.
What?
There is obviously a prologue.
That's tough.
Yeah. There is a prologue.
He doesn't know who he is. He's just going with the flow.
And this is what I started talking to the developers after this.
He's just a vampire.
Work out like how the quests are structured and how this time system works. And basically, at the start of the game, after you've done the prologue, there is something that is a bit
the boss
close
enemies
to, you know,
look
how Breath of
crazy.
the Wilds, when you finish the prologue, you can immediately go to Hyrule Castle.
Oh, he uses his hands to fight.
Ganon, but it's going to be really, really difficult.
Look at that.
Recommend it.
You don't need
so
swords.
That is how this game works. You've got 30 days to save your family. You can go straight to where your family are being held.
His claws. You got claws.
Presumably they're being like hunkered down by a load of incredibly difficult vampires. So the idea is that you play quests.
Okay.
Bro, he's using claws.
Quests are not. It's not like a quest 1, quest
Dodging
2, quest
everything
3.
like
there's just a bunch of storylines in the world, and so you can run out of time, obviously, and maybe not do some of those quests. And one of the things they were telling me is the quest that they were showing me ended with Cohen being told, you are a Dawnwalker, you are half vampire, half human.
Right.
You might never do that quest in the entire game, and Cone will just never learn who he is.
Vampire.
Do you ever have to, have
That's a hybrid.
Like not showing your true
vampire hybrid
self during the day. I know there's night and day shifts and stuff.
So it's not obviously. We've also seen Vampire: The Masquerade Bloodlines 2 at this, which does have that. Like you have to hide your kind of nature. In this, it's less so because vampires are kind of a bit more present in the world. However, the vampires don't particularly like you, and the more kind of notorious you become through the game, the more you do to annoy them, they'll start building their resistance.
Let me check this out. The Blood of Dawnwalker. Rescue your family. 22 days left. A monk and a saint go to the Savitro Cathedral, which is right here. A monk and a saint, and then go to the Savitro Cathedral.
Distances, there'll be more guards, there'll be more people kind of hunting you.
Which is right
there
here.
Are different, I don't know every system that will come into play,
but
there are
right
systemic pressures
it's like a teleportation
that will maybe force you to maybe take the stealthier route to reconsider.
Okay.
Also, Cohen gets pretty hungry as time goes on, and you have to feed. He can feed on animals, but it doesn't really sustain his bloodlust very much. If you don't feed him, he might try and feed himself in the middle of conversations.
What the hell? You heard what he said? If you don't feed the vampire, he would just go crazy on the first human he sees.
So you might end up just randomly killing really important NPCs.
No.
So
it's really
dude, that's crazy. That's next level right there.
We all know how much I'm into this sort of systemic nature.
Yes.
So it's a very
very creative,
kind of
next level creativity.
Very handcrafted quests, but you could
the NPC. So if you take out the NPC, you're not gonna be able to do the certain missions that he's about to give you. That makes sense.
Just accidentally murder someone that's important to a quest.
I'm personally a little bit peckish myself, so why don't we take a little break? I might get a little snack, and we will be back very soon for more from the IGN UK podcast at Gamescom 2025.
The average Cinefix movie list features nearly
what is it called? Vampire.
100 different films.
We got Vampire: The Masquerade and Dawnwalker. The Blood of Dawnwalker. All right, we got another game here. Indiana Jones.
The notorious you become through the game, the more you do to annoy them, they'll start building their resistances. There'll be more guards, there'll be more people kind of hunting you. There are different, I don't know every system that will come into play, but there are systemic pressures.
Dude, it's kind of cool you're climbing on top of the houses like Assassin's Creed, knowing you're a freaking vampire. Dude, that just... You roleplay as a vampire simulation here.
That will maybe force you to maybe take the stealthier route to reconsider.
Okay.
Also, Cohen gets pretty hungry as time goes on, and
down with the
have
claws
to feed.
slow
he
down.
Can feed on
cool.
on animals, but it doesn't really sustain his bloodlust very much. If you don't feed him, he might try and feed himself.
Okay, we already watched this, but I didn't see that part. Okay, trip out here.
By millions, easy to use, and best of all,
nah, not here. Here. Did I miss anything? No, we're good. Alright, back to Gamescom.
And we're back. This is a very special Gamescom episode
of
the IGN UK podcast. We're live in colour again. Our faces are here. Let's keep the show going, shall we? And talk about two of your individual souls' combined passions, which is Resident Evil. You've both played Resident Evil.
Resident
Requiem.
Evil.
Is it looking good?
I mean, I think it's fair to say yes. From the short 15 or so minutes we actually got to play.
The demo's wicked.
Yeah,
played
absolutely, absolutely.
It's amazing.
Being able
hey,
to,
shout out to those kids right there, those young dudes.
Some sort of like abandoned hospital, from what we understand.
Yeah, it's like a medical facility.
Yeah. You wake up as Grace Ashcroft, strapped to some sort of gurney. Blood being pumped out of you, and then now you need to escape.
Oh, that's sick right there. First person with the lighter.
Requiem, and I know that our colleague Dale, who can't be here right now,
dead body,
spoke about this in his preview. Is that the shift in perspective from first to third person.
Damn, probably.
I think what I found really
probably
cool
stinks.
about
Imagine
that
the
is that
smell.
it's actually tailored to sort of what perspective you're playing at. So like if you're going through first person and you're
Oh,
running
this is
away
Grace.
from, the big disgusting
The new protagonist for Resident Evil.
then
Grace.
that's going to control exactly as you would expect. But when you're playing in third
What
person,
the hell is
suddenly
that?
Grace is going to be, tripping
Oh
over
my
herself, bumping into
goodness.
different things.
Yeah,
That thing is huge. Look at oh. The eye all sticking out. That's crazy.
Suddenly, Grace is going to be, tripping over herself, bumping into different things.
yeah.
Imagine running
I
away
think
from
the
that
thing is
thing in
obviously
the night.
First and versus third
that's
person
crazy.
is like a fairly,
Too
continuing
insane
debate
right there.
among the
Yes,
Resident
yeah,
Evil
yeah,
fans.
yeah.
7 and 8 obviously very distinctly in first
Resident
person,
Evil Raccoon.
working on that PT amnesia style
Resident Evil
horror.
Raccoon.
Whereas, and obviously the DLC for Resident Evil Village put in the ability to switch to third person.
Yeah, exactly.
This is like the next evolution of that, where kind of like I think,
You heard that?
regardless of whether you liked the classic third person.
Hold on, let me put the subtitles. I'm dead wrong for not having it. My bad. Subtitles on. It says subtitles closed, unavailable.
Or you're into first. It feels like the game is tailored for that approach, which must be a lot of work because I know that when we've spoken to developers in the past about offering both
oh my god, watch out.
Oh, it's a difficult thing to do. And like you say,
Bit him in the
completely
neck.
bespoke animations in third person and kind of like
Damn. Poor
bespoke,
Grace.
I guess kind of like the way it frames things when you're from first person, which is my preferred way to play. I found that this demo is essentially you're in a corridor being chased by a stalker.
I was going to say that. This is the first time I've actually
Dude, I like those type of games that you feel like you're being stalked. You feel like you're being watched.
seen a glimpse of this. Unfortunately, looking.
Those are the very creepy
woman,
games.
I don't know who she is, what she is.
I need to
don't
play
think we know
some.
what this stalker enemy is.
There's
what
some
the hell is going on with her?
So there's some rumors that
Like in
it
the
could
night,
be
you know,
Lisa
record
Jones.
some.
I think that's just Resident Evil.
To get my
fans getting
reaction,
excited
getting
that there's,
scared.
a big spooky stalker, but
I'll
we
be
don't know
speechless.
much about what is chasing us, other than she or they is afraid of light.
Yeah.
So that sort of ties
okay.
into
They're afraid
that
of light.
actual, the classic Resident Evil safe room where we are bouncing from room to room, but then traditionally, when you've seen Nemesis or Mr. X or anyone else try and approach a safe room, they'll do like, a little comical shuffle in and then they'll just back out.
Yeah.
But with the stalker enemy in this, when she actually
I think there was a scene where the zombies or the monsters got close to the light, they started to burn. They started to burn their faces.
approaches the light, her skin burns away.
Like some
And I feel
vampire-
that's just
yeah.
sort of a really fun, like sort of gameplay grounded way of
Damn.
making it
She's
seem
got
like
lovely big feet.
I thought I was
what's
gonna slide
going
right
on
there, but I don't think that
like,
won't work.
Let's explain the
Or
visuals
does
for
it?
people not watching. Just listen. What does she look like?
Nah, it
Because I'm
doesn't work.
struggling to explain what.
I need some good light.
disgusting gremlin that's
My-
far taller than
But
us.
like-
like
light in there,
9
man.
foot tall.
My description
She's
of
a
it
biter.
is if you injected Gollum with Bane's super serum.
I can see that, but also
Throw a Molotov.
what looks like a very tattered cloth.
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
Throw a
Bit of
Molotov.
Dobby's kind of like pillowcase.
Oh. Would they show us?
It reminds me quite a bit of the horrible
took
thing in
Gracie's
Barbarian.
head off?
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
bit of
That's,
that
that's,
going on.
that's actually not
Dude, that's demonic. Your player being
too
eaten?
far off, and we get introduced to her when a corpse
Nah, the graphics are getting very crazy
falls
here,
out of a
dude.
cupboard, and then but
She bites the head of
yeah,
the corpse
but that's
off.
the thing. I started this demo in
Poor
third
Grace.
person, but then it put me into the first person perspective
Run,
Grace.
for that cutscene. I thought that was a really smart.
It
transition.
knows which
The hell is that
perspective to
thing?
use
Oh.
to give
Yes,
the
yes,
because
yeah.
some
What
cutscenes are
the
done in
hell?
third. So if you're in first person, it pulls the camera out of your head.
Nah, that's
but
crazy.
the stalking side of it, obviously, we all know that I'm obsessed with Alien Isolation, and it does feel that like with each iteration of stalking enemies, Rez is kind of trying to push for something that's a little closer to that. So, for
Yeah.
example, she can burst through doors. She can, if you kind of like manage to get away from her, she can essentially climb up into a crawl space above the ceiling and then drop down in
How
front of
big
you.
are these crawl spaces? Just the size of a house.
Oh, well,
So in this one, Grace, you could tell she didn't have no guns, no weapons. So she's gonna be running away, hiding, going to rooms, searching for clues. It might be like Silent Hill when you play just like a regular schmo.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Resident Evil houses are traditionally massive anyway. So who knows who designed this?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen people comparing it, and just from me watching this footage for the first time, I am seeing a bit of that PT, almost a bit of Silent Hill in there.
Yeah.
This is obviously a demo. I don't know if this is going to be in the final game. What's being seen here? Very much the survival part of survival horror. Not saying
the game looks good.
Side of Resident Evil. Do you think that's being kept from us at the moment?
Yeah, I can imagine so. Just
I was not really sure about Resident Evil, but
Grace's perspective.
Resident Evil Requiem, but this one's getting good with this gameplay here.
Resident Evil, typically over-the-shoulder third person, like in the Resident Evil 4 remake. And I can imagine they're holding off for now. Who knows who's going to be joining Grace in her adventures, but I can imagine it might be someone like Leon, considering we've seen,
Damn, with a little lighter? Using a little lighter to see?
Yeah, my feeling is that it's either a
run
demo,
away from that thing?
and I would hope these sections are in the game.
Look how she creeps out, dude.
It's
very creepy
style stuff. I feel like, the moment-to-moment Resi experience is almost certainly still going to be Resi, right? It's got to be about managing your inventory, figuring out how to get your herbs, keeping all your ammo in a box, and shooting
Dude,
lots
I
of
can already
zombies.
imagine playing
This will
this.
be the thing that breaks up the flow.
Yeah.
What is your favourite herb?
I mean, you know what? Red goes well with a lot of different herbs.
Yeah.
So
I was talking more just in culinary.
I'm locked into
I'm a rosemary guy.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Put some rosemary on some.
Yeah.
No, sage.
But we gotta see more gameplay though.
Heavy savory side for me. Oregano's good.
Do we get like combat gameplay or just
I played a game
running
called
away?
Hollow Knight Silksong. People have been waiting for it.
I heard that Dale headbutted someone so hard to play Silksong he couldn't get on
Run away, Gracie.
Dale was meant to be this podcast, but he headbutted a wardrobe.
Yeah, he's got a massive ouchie boo-boo.
So
with a humongous
Jesse has kindly
Band-Aid.
stepped in, and I think done a stellar job so far.
Thank you.
But yeah, Hollow Knight Silksong. It's a lovely little Souls-like Metroidvania. If you don't know what Hollow Knight is, where have you been? I mean, it's a good game, beautiful art style. I finally got to play it after, 6 to 7 years of waiting?
I think it was 6-7 years of waiting in a
Well,
line.
I waited over an hour.
Alright, let's skip this. I think that's enough of Resident Evil Requiem.
art style, and so it is a hard sci-fi kind of game, which means you're not going to get the space wizards, which has me questioning a little bit, like, will the combat just purely be guns? Because what they were showing us was just assault rifle, and you do get the rocket grenade. Have you seen the rocket grenades in the Expanse?
I haven't had a look, no.
The idea is so you can actually fight in not zero G, but very low gravity situations. So there was a section they were showing us where like you're mag locked onto the side of a spaceship, space station, and fighting. But it
is this the one with the zombies in space?
Means that obviously when you throw a grenade, the grenade would just float off. If it was so grenades in the Expanse have rocket thrusters on them, so they just propel themselves towards enemies.
It looks absolutely lovely. I think more importantly, what I'd like to know is, do I need to have that prior
It's a Type 1 civilization.
Go in?
So I am a casual fan of the Expanse.
Okay. Oh, that looks sick right there.
Those kind
everything
of
advanced in agriculture.
And I did recognize certain situations that we're talking about. It takes place in the aftermath of the Eros incident, which is a big part of like season 1, and you hear about like the Canterbury being attacked.
But I think there's
the idea is this is also a gateway into the Expanse. It is its own story, and those events are just in the peripheries. And so I think like it will have its own crew. It's like imagine if Mass Effect was on the side of a set of books that you didn't know existed.
Yeah, fair.
Dude, to be honest, I remember the game Starfield. I thought Starfield was gonna look like this. I thought Starfield was gonna look like this.
You've kind of
I was wrong.
Have been made by everyone to Mass Effect. And
I mean, Starfield is alright, but it feels empty. It's like feels soulless.
You mentioned combat, but that's not really what I come to Mass Effect for. It's fine in Mass Effect, but it's really
we wanted to feel alive, like you're
the story, right?
You're actually somewhere else.
Did you get a glimpse of just if that's gonna be up to par in this?
I think that's what.
Hopefully, this game could.
I'm sort of expecting it to deliver because Owlcat is very good at this. Their
you just
books,
feel like
their games are like books.
Different planet.
You spend a huge amount of time with it. This is a shorter game than like Rogue Trader and Pathfinder. They're all kind of like 100-hour RPGs. Yeah. This is going to be more around the same length as Mass Effect, kind of like a 30-hour RPG, but. In a 1-hour demo, there's only so much you can know. They only showed
30 hours,
which I thought was quite cool. It was a guy called Jay, who is your sibling.
Damn, dude. I don't know. Maybe 30 hours? What do you guys think about that? 30 hours in a campaign? Damn.
And so therefore their character model is based on
very
the character
grindy
you create
game
in character creation.
That's really cool.
But that's kind of cool because you know, like you keep going, it'll never end.
Like it was,
you can play this for like 2 years,
Mass Effect or even
a whole year
previous RPGs. But
to finish
it's hard to experience that in a demo format.
In a demo that's only an hour and mostly was to do with demonstrating the combat and choices. The Expanse is colder than Mass Effect, and not necessarily known for its very lovable characters, but they're always very complex, like politically driven characters. My hope is that over the campaign you would get to that point. You'd love the characters.
Exoskeleton, they got VR in there.
People get to play that at some point in the future.
It's an advanced civilization.
That people only at Gamescom would have got to try, I believe, which is an absolutely bonkers-looking rig for the game.
But I don't think this one's the one with necroglobins.
You're a man who has a
the one with zombies and
are you getting a little bit
diseases
of that from it?
100%, and I think PvKK goes beyond what everyone loved about Steel Battalion, because not only is it got and you can see it on screen here.
The hell is that?
A humongous controller setup. with I think had over 160
tell me that's a game.
individual buttons and switches you could just mess around with. Every
no
segment
way.
of control in this.
And what's the
is
full
that a
name
tank?
of the game again?
I'm not even going to attempt. It's
a simulated tank. That's pretty cool.
I'm not going to be able to do it now. But if you don't know what PvKK is, you take
that's
control
crazy.
of a planetary defense cannon. You get calls from
with a sick monitor, a wide, ultra wide.
It was essentially a little office desk.
Dude, that's sick.
Planetary defense cannon. It's almost got sort of like 40k aesthetics as
well,
with what you're dealing with.
And
but
it's
you
old
get
school,
random little calls from your
tank.
commandant, and it says, okay, today we might
from
have
the 50s.
3 or 4 invading dropships coming to
That's
attack
very
us.
cool.
We need you to blow them up, and then it's your choice whether you want to actually listen to your commandant or not. And then that's where the sort of like papers, please, moral dilemmas take place. Because if you did decide to destroy the aliens, then you're going to get points back. You're going to be able to upgrade your station.
That's a straight up simulation of a tank.
You might get a note from the alien forces.
But what's all this like when you actually physically get to press buttons and winds? Like,
I mean, it's fantastic, especially in the early game where everything is still so mechanical. You're going to have to prime,
as honor with separation of well-being.
Do every little bit and bob, and if you get it a little bit wrong, then suddenly you're gonna have to restart.
Look at the cockpit.
And you're gonna have to like take out the fuses and start repairing. It's so tactile.
So when you say they're taking out the fuses, did this new rig they built at Gamescom require you to actually slot fuses into it?
They made
it's
it
perfect to get like
easier,
experience.
In the base game, if you like overload
turn the
your power,
knobs,
suddenly things gonna pop
press
out,
the button to shoot,
and have to repair, and then suddenly you're dealing with these invading
get your little
forces.
coffee, take a sip.
I mean, I did say we wouldn't talk about it, but we kind of have to. The biggest thing when we come to Germany. What is the best thing you ate this week?
We found a pretty good noodle place, in which I only ate rice because I don't actually like noodles.
Just plain rice?
No, with some very good.
I forgot that Gamescom 2025 is in Europe, so they're in Germany.
Crispy chicken and duck.
Nice.
I absolutely destroyed pork belly while I was here. not quite pork knuckle. I'll leave that for next year. But some nice pork belly. That sorted me.
I had my first pork knuckle in about 6 years. It was all right. It wasn't too big. Wasn't too large.
Have you found any like unusual snacks in your supermarket rendezvous?
No, we tend to just stick to our Ritter Sports, don't we? We're very.
I'm not sure if these guys are like from somewhere else and they're new to Germany. So it's kind of hard for them to see like some food from their original homes.
Like
I bought 9 bars.
You bought 9 yesterday, which is quite excessive. Which one are you most looking forward to tucking into?
Well, there's that new one that's based on like their crispy rolls. like those old kind of like.
We aren't sponsored by. Years ago.
Let's skip this.
There we go. That is it for a very rare look at our faces on the IGN UK podcast. Remember that the IGN UK podcast is an IGN production and part of the Geek Media Network. We'll be back on Friday, our normal schedule, to talk more about what we saw at Gamescom, and we've got plenty more coming up on Gamescom Studio.
Nice.
So yeah, don't.
I
want to
see
Thank you.
The Doom Dark Ages new DLC. I want to see it, and I also want to see what is it? The shooting game. Oh. Hell Broke Loose Vietnam. That one's gonna be kind of tight because it reminds me of Bad Company 2 Vietnam. So if they bring that back, Battlefield 6 might bring it back. Imagine that, Battlefield 6 Vietnam. I know it's early. It's too early to even talk about that. But like, say after like a year and we're done of Modern Warfare, like of modern gameplay in Battlefield 6, they could just release the Vietnam. The Battlefield 6 Vietnam, that'll be sick.
I am once again here at the Borderlands 4 booth at Gamescom 2025, and
right,
honestly, it's kind of hard to miss.
I saw some yesterday. Oh, what the hell? That's sick. Nah, the Borderlands universe and the fan base is very big, dude. And to be honest, I never play a Borderlands game, ever. And I had the chance to play it many times. But I decided to not play, and I don't think I'm still gonna play. But I like seeing it. I like seeing other people play it. I like the universe. Oh, that little robot.
Borderlands 4 marks the return of the iconic looter shooter franchise, and this time it's got a darker and grittier tone. The hidden world of Kairos has been under the rule of the Timekeeper for thousands of years, and he's manipulated the population to the point where they have cybernetic implants called bolts. Then a rogue moon teleported into Kairos' orbit, exposing the world and sending it into complete chaos. The Timekeeper locked down the city and sent his commanders to deal with the fallout of this cataclysmic event while he watches over the planet from the safety of his tower. Those commanders include Callus, the Ripper Queen, who rules over the shattered lands of Carcadia.
Yo, this is crazy. It's a crazy universe, crazy lore. I need to watch a video of this. The lore of Borderlands. Looks very entertaining and maybe, nah, I'm gonna try the game. I just want to see the story.
And denounces the Timekeeper's mind-controlling methods. The hulking idolater Sol, who terrorizes the rolling hills of the Fade Fields and remains loyal to the Timekeeper, and
that guy looks like Thanos.
Vile Lictor, overseer of the Terminus Range's frigid peaks. All this is to say, the people of Kairos are tired of being under the Timekeeper's rule, and that's where you and your friends come in. Playing as Vault Hunters, you'll be in charge of lighting the spark of this revolution, teaming up with new and returning characters like Claptrap and Moxie, and of course collecting tons of weapons with ludicrous firepower along the way. As you travel Kairos, make sure you keep an eye out for points of interest you can claim for your Crimson Resistance, weakening the Timekeeper's grip on the planet. Once you've wiped out any nearby enemies, you can reclaim places like safe houses to expand.
You know what? I'm not really used to the art style, but the gameplay looks crazy on this one. Dude, is that how the gameplay look in Borderlands 3, 2, and 1? I thought it was third person.
Your fast travel options, or silos with decommissioned order communications balloons that let you take to the sky, scope out your next target, and aid your search for elusive vault key fragments.
You can check it all out when Borderlands 4 comes to PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S on September 12th. And it's coming to Nintendo Switch 2 on October 3rd of 2025.
Hell yeah.
Now, if you'll excuse me.
Oh, got that mask?
The Cinefix Top 100.
That is a fan of Borderlands, I could tell.
Catch up on all your favorite shows with up-to-the-minute gaming and entertainment news with for August PlayStation.
The voice of Master.
This is a cool looking trailer.
Everything Xbox on podcast.
What the? GTA 6?
Podcasts Unlocked.
This is Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief.
Catch up with.
No way. Nintendo voice chat. Oh, this one's gonna be lit.
Your Super Nintendos on Nintendo Voice Chat.
Switch to pre-order Mania. It was chaotic last night.
And get all the latest console news and rumors with next year news and the latest game releases. Tune into Podcast Beyond for the biggest PlayStation.
Oh, they're just watching the GTA 6 trailer.
News.
Man, this is a cool looking trailer.
Everything Xbox on Podcast.
Hell yeah, it's a good looking trailer, dude. GTA 6? Dude, GTA 6? Let me go back to where's it at? I was about to say that why so serious? I was about to say that GTA 6 is the biggest bomb. That's the nuke. That's the biggest nuke. Not even a regular nuke. A super mega nuke in the game industry. Like, I'm not even playing, dude. GTA 6 is gonna shake the whole industry. Everybody knows this. Everybody, even my dog knows that. Everybody knows about GTA. When I play GTA 5 and I have like a couple stars and the cops are chasing me, when my dog hears the sirens, it goes crazy. It knows I'm playing GTA. It goes to hide under the bed, so it knows it's a bomb. So yeah, GTA 6, dude, is gonna shake up the whole gaming industry. And I can't wait to be there, man. We're all gonna be there, for sure. Even if we don't get the game, you're about to witness it in YouTube.
To break down all the biggest Xbox game reveals here at the show,
gonna blow up the
let's check in
internet
with the Outside Xbox podcast for a very special episode coming up right now.
Nice.
Hello and welcome back to Gamescom 2025. I'm Jane Douglas from Outside Xbox. This is Mike Channel from Outside Xbox.
Hi.
And this is Ellen Rose from Outside Xbox.
Hello.
While everyone was looking the other way, we got ourselves into the stage, and now it's ours.
Shh, don't tell them. I'm never leaving this sofa's too comfy.
Yeah. And we're going to be talking about the very best of what's here at Gamescom 2025. But first of all,
what kind of
a
game
little
shows?
shout out to our good friend and colleague Andy Farrant, who couldn't be here.
Yes.
Hi, Andy.
He's holding down the fort back home. No one's getting in that fort.
No. Oh, you had to be there for Andy. Fairly sick.
Right, how is your Gamescom going?
Amazing, yeah. Real sensory overload. I think it's sort of fair to say that Gamescom's like truly back this year.
Yeah, I think so.
I know a lot of people who went last year and had a really good time and saw lots of stuff, but I feel like it's just another level this year. So many games, so many people. Atmospheric, haunted house, mansion in the rain.
Sorry, I'm just good to the gameplay.
And I actually, as a bit of behind the scenes, you know, the people looking after that from a PR perspective got in touch about a week ago and said, hey, you should really come and look at this. And it feels like the sort of best kept secret on the show floor.
I want to see
one of the things I love about these kind of shows,
the new Metal Gear Solid,
friends and colleagues within the industry, is where you have this sort of like industry scuttlebutt where people are like, have you seen this game? It's super exciting. And I think you can see it on the screen here.
What game is
this sort of almost like Alan Wake, Silent Hill, sort of misty forest.
What the hell?
What it reminds me of is games like Fear. Do you remember Fear as a
sort
sort of
what?
horror tactical shooter, but crossed with kind of Rainbow Six Siege?
Oh, yeah. I remember Fear. Dude, the game, is it Fear 3 or Fear 2? The one that I think it's Fear 3. The one that came out for Xbox 360. Dude, that game was very sick. Very creative. The way you're in first person, you see like a ghost moving chairs. You're able to shoot the enemy, but then he disappears. It disappears and goes going through walls and everything.
Style action. So yeah, hugely impressive debut at ONL. Bit of buzz around it, and we've actually seen it being played live in front of us. So we haven't had hands on, but we have seen the developers themselves play a sort of true asymmetric multiplayer match. So what you can see here is this sort of
there's a ghost.
These kind of PvE elements. So these apparitions and things like that. So there is a very strong PvE element, but there's also this creature called the Executioner, which I'm sure you'll see later on, which is this sort of... Have you seen the game Carrion? With its kind of weird motion.
And a little bit like...
Using a beer can as a silencer.
It mimics some prey as well.
It's got that sort of vibe. So there is a player playing
using a beer can as a silencer.
That was new. Stalking you around the thing. But as you can see, I mean, like...
Oh, hello.
This is spooky as enough.
We've got mannequins.
Oh, yeah, that's creepy.
Things falling off the wall. So, like, these little scripted sequences and stuff. One of the things I think is
it was a mannequin.
Quite cool is it has a...
There's so many mannequins in the game.
A meter measuring your kind of mental well-being and mental state. And there are a lot of games that kind of do that.
Dude, this one's sick.
Almost always just a negative thing.
A haunted
when
mansion?
your quote-unquote sanity level
the can.
drops below a certain threshold. But
it's
what
only
the
2
developers
shots.
were telling us when we went to see the game was that actually, in certain circumstances, this sanity system can actually work in your favor. So there are certain characters and classes where having a lower level of sanity will actually make you more effective in combat. So it's a really interesting balance.
So much detail to the environment.
Play as one of those people who stays super safe and tries to maintain their sort of, their fear level.
Okay.
Or do you want to like sail close to the wind and really allow it to drop? The problem is as you allow that level to drop, you will be attacked by sort of apparitions.
What is it?
This stuff's scary enough already.
Example.
Yeah.
But these sort of shadowy figures will appear.
This
real sort of like
zombie,
sleep paralysis apparition.
Yeah, that was the exact vibe.
And they will attack you. They can physically attack you. But
this one you have a lighter too. Look, mannequins.
There might be things like short.
Dude, there's been so many mannequins in game. Expedition 33. The new Vampire game. Vampire the Masquerade. So many mannequins on games.
Cuts in the environment that you can't see
The
when
mannequin era.
You know, when your mental level is kind of hunky dory. But as you descend more into the kind of madness of what's going on.
Look at this.
You know, shortcuts may open themselves up to you and things like that. So I just thought the environments were super slick. The enemy design looks
nice, dude. This is straight off like Fear 3.
Really creepy. And obviously
you shooting at Ghost,
which we'll see shortly,
with the shoddy.
Is super appealing as well. Obviously, it's got that kind of like co-op shooter vibe. Again, very inspired by things like Rainbow Six Siege, but also the novel Solaris apparently was a big inspiration for that kind of psychological horror, according to the developers of the game.
It's a highfalutin reference.
Yeah, well, I like it, and you know, I think, you know, culturally, you know, there's been a big divide, I think, in video games, like West and East divide in terms of developers and things. But obviously, we're seeing a lot more games coming from the West. Black Myth, Wukong, obviously. Yeah.
Don't tell me you become the Beast right here, like in Dying Light. You become the Beast.
Exactly. Sorry, from the East to the West.
Yeah.
And so they don't necessarily
you become the Beast.
Have the same influences. What we can see here is the Executioner character. It's a real sort of Lovecraftian horror monster. What you'll have noticed in this gameplay is how powerful and fast this creature is. And
dude, they could make a multiplayer mode like this. Someone becomes the ghost, and everybody's trying to survive.
I did ask them about how it was going to play, because it seemed like this thing was massively overpowered.
I think it is a mode.
What they were saying was actually, to a degree, there's a kind of loadout system with that creature, so you'll build it the way you want to play it as well. But what they were showing us was it in one of its fastest and most aggressive forms. But there are other forms of that will be kind of stealthier and more about stalking the other player characters. So there's going to be variety there. I did ask them if they were ever planning on adding, you know, because that's quite a distinctive character design in terms of the tentacles and things. I did ask them if they were considering other sort of horror-inspired designs, and they said nothing planned yet, but it's obviously something they've thought about as well.
And on the campaign side, did they speak on that?
So what they said was that there are sort of two. You're actually not just playing a single character. You're playing what they describe as an operator. So it was difficult to get like full details because they didn't want to talk a lot about that stuff. I guess it's still in development. But what it reminded me of was XCOM. You know, that idea that you recruit your troops and you select which ones you think will operate best in battle, and then you send those agents out. So it's operator is the kind of overarching mode, and agents are the characters that are out in the field. And so you'll be recruiting them. I assume there'll be a sort of budget that needs to be sort of balanced. And you'll send them out into what they describe as these ember zones. So it's this anomalous event has happened, and these areas have become sort of off limits to the general public, and you're sending it. It's sort of like Ghostbusters with M16s, basically. Like, and so yeah, you will be playing not just the on the ground stuff, but you will be also, you know, dictating how, as a sort of organization, this stuff is handled. So interesting take on it, definitely. Other stuff they mentioned was there's a crafting system, a kind of quick crafting system. So you'll have seen in the gameplay demo, at one point the character pulls a rag out of a Molotov and wraps it around a shovel to create a sort of flaming shovel. Okay. So they want to have that kind of inventive crafting thing, but it's got to be something that you can do on the fly in the middle of a terrifying firefight when you're scared out of your mind.
When you're teetering on the brink of the edge of insanity.
Yes.
All right, one to watch. Any word on a release date on that one?
No, we asked about that. They said there's still lots of work to do. This is obviously like a sort of what they describe as a vertical slice, so a kind of flavor of what the game will be like. But obviously we were very impressed by how polished it was.
Yeah.
But they said they've got a lot of work to do. They're desperate to get it into the hands of players, and I think they've been really heartened by the response to it at ONL as a sort of debut of their game. So they're very excited, but I think it's a little ways out, but what a strong showing.
Right. And that was Project Spectrum.
That was Project Spectrum.
Okay, now, next on the agenda here at Gamescom 2025, the three of us, we nipped over and played some of the Xbox handhelds.
Yes.
The ROG Xbox Ally X and
Correct.
the ROG Xbox Ally
Not
No
X.
Xless.
Yes.
All right.
Xless sounds so weird, but yeah, okay.
All right, we're not calling it that. Microsoft's not calling it that. Actually, just before we sat down just recently, actually, Microsoft confirmed the date.
Yes.
So that's October the 16th for the release date on both
exciting.
of those. Yet to confirm the pricing, although the scuttlebutt is $900.
The rumor is that, yes.
For the fancy one.
Yes.
And $550 for the slightly less fancy one, which is chonky.
But reflective of the performance of these devices, right? I think perhaps if you're used to your handhelds being, Nintendo Switch or maybe even Steam Deck,
Xbox Game Pass?
These are, lower priced handhelds, but there are these kind of super powerful PC-based handhelds that have existed, like the original ROG Ally. And these are
Game Pass.
phenomenally performant bits of kit, essentially. And so the Ally X in particular, I think is...
People say the Xbox Game Pass is now worth it, but to try it at least once, like the free trial, is worth it. The free trial for Xbox Game Pass is worth it, bro. I'm gonna put that right there. Alright, let's play it.
Is going to be, I think we were saying it's about the price of 2 Nintendo Switch 2s.
How much is it?
But having played it, I was quite impressed by
the
what
price
we
of 2 Switch 2?
A bit of Forza Horizon 5
Nah.
in there. It was buttery.
Nah, that's too much.
Really, really
that's
nice
too much.
And so you're really paying for, I think, current gen games to be played in a handheld form factor, which, in terms of the generations of video games before that.
To be honest, I'm good with the Switch 1. The Switch 1 is just still good. Until later on when the Switch 2 lowers price, then you're good with that one.
Before this,
or if they lower the price on Steam Deck, go for the Steam Deck.
Not been something that's
depending what kind of game
you
are
playing Liza P.
Yeah.
On the
Liza P.
The X one, the fancy one.
The fancy one, yeah.
Okay, the black one.
Yeah.
The Liza P was PSN exclusive. You get to play it for free if you have a PSN subscription. And I'm not sure if Liza P is like a Dark Souls type of game, and if it is, it might be hard.
How'd you find it?
It looked so crisp. It looked like, because part of that game's, the wonderful thing about that game is just like the art style and how pretty it looks. And it did look pretty on that screen, and it played well. Like, it's so important to, it's all about timing, those kind of Souls-like games. And I felt like it was very responsive, and it just like.
I might try Liza P.
His hair never looks so good.
I might try it. There's a lot of games I have on the list that I'm gonna be playing this year.
It was roughly as tall as Mike's head.
Yeah.
Play as many games before the big one.
A little taller.
And the big one for me is GTA 6.
So it's large.
That's the big one for me.
Large. And what do you make of the weight?
It was way lighter than I was expecting. Now, obviously, there's a difference between playing something for 5 minutes and how heavy it feels then versus playing.
But
for
I
an
will
hour.
play Liza P though.
Exactly, yeah. And not
just for the hype.
Yes.
But I was surprised when you looked at it. It's obviously like physically quite large compared to say a Switch 2, but in terms of weight, I was surprised by how lightweight it was, actually. I think it was going to be more comfortable for long gaming sessions than perhaps I anticipated. The ergonomics of it feel pretty good. I think the only thing I would say from my perspective is that the triggers are super comfortable because they're extremely large triggers.
Dude, so behind him is the line for Metal Gear Solid? Snake Eater? Or they're just chilling?
They're really comfortable.
Because if it is, that's a long line.
Quite comfortably, but I would say it's a little bit.
Oh, it is. Look, they're watching the gameplay.
You know, on an Xbox controller, you can actually hit the shoulder buttons just by leaning, like almost rolling your finger onto them. You can't really do that on the ROG Ally. So that's the only ergonomic note. It's not really a problem.
Dude, they need to make the price
to
around 300.
But it's got.
I know 300 is too cheap for these game industry. But around 300, 350, that's like the sweet spot. Like a $300 game console will always be like, all right, that's a fair price. But when it's like 450, 500, 600, 800, it's like, oh man. But then again, it's very understandable because people buy iPhones every year. The new iPhone. How much is the new iPhone? 1,000, 200, and it doesn't even have an RTX. It doesn't have RTX capabilities to be gaming in it. You know, you're paying that much money, so that's pretty crazy. Now that I think that
those big wings. So I think a lot of people find the Switch 2 too slim, and indeed the Switch 1 as well. And it gives them that kind of like gamer's claw sort of like
that's true.
hand cramp. I think the sort of curved wings, which include rumble as well, I think will make it quite a comfortable thing to play.
That's true. When you play the handheld, you do get tired from here. But then again, with the Switch, the difference is you could just lay the screen. You could lay the screen right there on the table and just like game it like this. You have your own little TV. That's why the Switch is pretty crazy. You can play it different ways. The handheld, the little TV, plug it in on TV. 3 ways to game it.
Clock the light up rings around the thumbstick with the various colors.
3 styles.
They're going to be customizable.
I think based on gaming laptops and
you would expect
things like that. Yeah, you'll be able to go into. There'll be an ROG toolbox of some sort where you can go in and customize those. If you have a particular shade or aesthetic you're going for, it's sort of the one thing that kind of reminds you that this is actually like.
All right, let's get to gameplay. I'm getting lost with the conversation here. Because they're talking about the handheld. It's pretty interesting. Okay, let's go right here.
Useful because it told me how
to
play
show
the game.
Some,
like, it's basically Mario Kart, but also it's not Mario Kart. Don't play it
Sonic
like Mario Kart.
Riders.
You'll crash all the time.
I saw that yesterday. Sonic Riders.
Yeah,
basic
Mario Kart's competitions.
Is that strong? Yeah, everyone do that.
Fair.
So yeah.
Wait,
and,
it's not Sonic Riders. No, it's a different one.
So basically, the only
Kirby
control
Riders.
you need to worry about is going left and right. Don't push forward because you will steer yourself down into the ground.
Special collection.
And then you use the B button to basically kind of like drift in and then push hard out of corners.
Okay.
And it's all about building up your speed boosts. And then here
you got
as well,
another one, guys. I said that yesterday. We need another Mario Kart competition because of Sonic Riders. We got Sonic Riders, Crash Bandicoot Racing. Now we have this one to compete against Mario Kart.
Collecting various weapons and power-ups and stuff that you can use around the course. And so what's exciting as well for people who played the original game is there's a ton of new Kirby characters. Previously, it was like
that's my brother's favorite
Kirby
character.
And, like one of the
like this guy with the super spicy.
Yeah, with super spicy. He's just like throwing food at people and making things explode. I mean, brilliant.
The mushroom dude.
Little mushrooms, like got extra protection with that, and it's great. You just everything is.
Oh, and then we got the blue Kirby.
So,
it turns into a snowball.
Like, I wish so. My little hands.
That's a cool little game for.
We didn't do much of the actual racing. So there's like another mode
Nintendo?
within the Air Riders, but you've got like a city that you sit in, you go around and you collect. There's like a round where you just go hog wild and collect as many power-ups as you possibly can, and then you're thrown into a mini game. And depending on all the power-ups that you've picked up, that
Kirby
is
Racing.
What sort of determines what minigame that you would be best at. And so like you get to like 4 things that you can choose, and it's like, oh, should you go for this one because you're more powerful, like go for one where you can like really like beat everyone up, or hey, you've got more flying skills, do a flying thing.
You know what? I think that there was another racing game that was like they kind of remind me like Mario Kart, but it was like realistic. I think it was called Split Second. It would be like a type of like a death race type of game. I think there were also type of games like that. One for the PSP that I remember. Not sure if it was Burnout. It's a game where you just get the weapons and you start shooting other cars. Just like you're racing. I think your cars already have weapons. It's like Death Race, the movie Death Race. You pass through the power-ups, you get the power-up, you unlock your weapons. It could be lightning, It could be ice. It could be the machine guns, rockets, and you'd be driving like these Mustangs, trucks. Dude, it was a pretty insane game.
But so like, and I did
That's
that.
like the more
the round before. So here we go. Yeah, the urban
mature,
district here. You're riding around, and you're just
adult-friendly
collecting all
Mario
these power-ups,
Kart world.
and
You know,
it's absolute chaos. It's absolute chaos.
like more like for.
But
how many people were you playing?
Older people.
So I had
compare
4,
like this
other
kitty-licking
journalists
games.
like playing with us, and then a bunch of CPU characters.
Okay.
And also, as you're gathering up all of these power-ups, you can just absolutely rinse each other
All right.
like
Skip
blowing
this
things up. There was a thing that I kept picking up, the spike. Particular power that you can use, you just immediately shoot a star out.
All right, we got a new racing gamer here.
What a project here at
Jump
Gamescom.
on this
Yeah,
one.
they love a project.
Which one is this one?
Footage here. They've announced Porsche in the
cars.
game. They've
50
announced
years. The
weather,
Porsche.
time of day. Look at those
Old
puddles.
school Porsche.
Beautiful.
Dude,
what I think is really interesting about this game, and that might have an effect on other games on console, is the addition of
legit?
mods. So on-console mods. So what they're saying is that modders
It's a beautiful car.
are going to be able
Whoa.
to make cars, even licensed cars, and
They are
submit them
licensed.
to their
Nice.
UGC, their user-generated content portal. What they will do is
Audi.
talk with the manufacturers of those cars.
Wait, what it
approve
said that?
what
Something
they
about
will do
physics?
is
Benchmark physics and handling. Dude. I like this because I think modders could sorry for this, dude, but modders will take advantage
talk
of this.
with the manufacturers of those cars
And add it to
approve the
GTA.
kind of handling of them, make sure they're of good quality, and place them on console as free DLC, essentially made by modders.
And they even got the new Porsches.
And I was asking him about this. I was saying, well, this is going to cost you a lot of money because licensees want to get paid, right? And
oh, the cars! Look at the cars.
Well, this is
the grass lifts them
going to
up.
cost you
There's
a lot of money
destruction.
because
Light destruction. Look at the
want to
car.
get paid.
Yo, that's
right?
crazy.
And they were saying we're going to run it as a loss leader.
The
so
realism.
They're going to pay the
The wheel is so hot,
licensing
it turned
fees,
into
but
turned
in a
into
way,
light.
as a loss leader.
Look at that. The wheel is so hot.
So essentially, they're going to pay the licensing fees.
Crazy.
But in a way, if you think about it, a game like Gran Turismo, which has car updates to keep the game fresh, they have to develop.
This is Gran
those cars.
Turismo?
The way this works is the community
new one?
develops the cars. They approve
the new
them,
Mustangs.
They talk to the manufacturers.
Dude, these are the new Mustangs.
Check that the manufacturers are happy, and check that the handling works, and then it's released to the game as a free DLC. So I thought it was a really interesting take, and they're doing it as a loss leader, but actually will keep this game fresh and allow them to have high-quality content, sort of crowdsourced by the community.
Just imagine the
so
drifting.
I thought that was really interesting.
The drifting and the crashing.
Mods for
online
racing are a
racing.
real nightmare because if someone makes a modded Porsche are going to get upset about
Damn,
it.
dude, I hope this game.
I thought this was a really interesting solution.
Really
to that
becomes
problem,
successful, dude.
And something that
I want
could be
racing to
applied
come back.
I don't know, other sports games.
There hasn't been a legit racing.
Might
we need some
crossover
racing
with
back, dude.
licensed copyrighted
Like Blur.
stuff. So you imagine
I remember the game Blur.
That, is an action
Split
game and people want
Second.
to put a character from a TV show in. Imagine
Project
if the developers
Gotham
could go
Racing.
to that TV show and license that character. So I thought that was really interesting.
Imagine the negotiation.
I never played Forza,
Well, this is it,
to be
and
honest.
I'm glad it's not my job. And we met the
I
person
think that's the
whose
only
job
game I
it
never
is
played
to do-
is
and
Forza.
fair
Because I
play
left
to him, he
Xbox
seems confident he
or
can
PS4.
Okay.
But I love the
Seems
ambition.
very
I thought it was a
nice.
really interesting take for a smaller team, for a smaller development team that can't necessarily fill the game with licensed cars. This is a great solution, and modding
Hell
teams
yeah.
and modding in racing sims has been around since the year dot. So there'll be a community that I'm sure is ready to embrace that.
If I ever
that
get to play
technology.
that game, dude, a racing game like that, it's just gonna make you want to get the racing setup like everybody else, Get the racing setup and race online other people. Because I've seen a lot of people with their little setup. I wonder if they race other people online. That'd be crazy. I think they do.
The other thing I saw was
But with other like
sort of
easy type of racing games. They should give a straight 100% simulation with licensed cars. That'd be crazy.
Plug and play light gun.
That'd be next level.
Now, you remember arcade light guns? Point Blank, Time Crisis, House of the Dead, that sort of thing.
Yeah, you're taking us back.
Yeah, right. Well, the problem is that they only ever really worked with CRT television, so old cathode ray tubes. What this device called Game. It's really awkward. It's called Game, but instead of AME,
these guys are going to be talking it out.
AIM.
We got Kirby here next.
Utterly ungoogleable.
Okay.
It's just going to correct your spelling.
No commercial.
But it's a great bit of kit. The idea is that it's plug and play. It uses AI because it doesn't.
Shout out to IGN because I'm live streaming on their stream.
It's
because you're aiming like you're aiming a gun. But I guess also that.
It's all fair use.
Okay.
You know?
It could be like a 3-leg.
This is all fair use. Did you share opinion and just react into this gameplay? Not trying to get copyrighted or get a strike because I'm reacting to these guys' content. Okay. I'm here tripping. Oh, over here. Oh, they haven't shown us a new Pokemon for Nintendo Switch 2. Is it a Pokemon X and Y? Let's trip out.
Actually, probably is a nice step up.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing for a while was, you know, these.
Should I skip it to the beginning of the interview? Oh, dude, I miss a lot. Okay, right here.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, so it has the, you know, we've seen the
Nintendo's booth studio on IGN. I'm Brian. I'm with live from the big.
There it is. Sorry, guys. We good.
And we are back with a very special Gamescom 2025 episode of NVC Live from the biggest video game convention on Earth right here at Gamescom Studio on IGN. I'm Brian. I'm with Jada and Pear. And we all got to spend time playing games at Nintendo's booth, which is lovely. Jada, you got to play Pokemon Legends ZA, which I
Pokemon ZA
know is like one of the biggest games of the show. Big lines.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, so it has the, you know, we've seen the trailers. They've done a bunch of Pokemon Directs. They just had the little Victory Bell, Mega Victory Bell Direct that they had, or video, like YouTube video that came out a couple days ago. But the combat is very different in this one. It's more like Arceus, where action is happening. You're rolling around the battlefield, maneuvering your Pokemon around, trying to take them down without yours fainting. This one, I was kind of surprised how good it felt to play. I was, you know, we know how the performance was in the past Pokemon games, and this one felt very smooth. Now, granted, this was low-level gameplay. I think my highest level Pokemon at the start was 7,
so you see the live battle in front of you?
By the time I ended, my Mareep was at like level 9.
And the Pokemon follows
so very
you?
low level
That's crazy.
combat. I also couldn't tell like for sure what moves I was using because it was all in Dutch, and I don't speak Dutch.
Dutch?
Or maybe it was French, German. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It was a language.
I hope it was German at Gamescom.
It was a language I did not comprehend. So I was trying to figure it out what moves I was using. Thankfully, they were color coded.
I'm trying to figure out if these battles are epic. I'm not a Pokemon guy, but I want to see if these battles are epic.
So I could tell
when
I was using a flying move, it was like light blue. Electrical moves were yellow. But it felt really good. One of the things that also I didn't realize, I might have just missed in the previous trailers, but you can do stealth attacks on the different people. So
people
like
say
you can
Pokemon games are not really
I sent out my Chikorita.
That crazy, except for the
Leaf on
old
a
Game Boy ones.
I think it was a Cubone. I can't remember which Pokemon it was. But yeah, I just did a little stealth attack and it knocked their health down to like half. It was an auto crit, I believe.
They can also get you though, right? Like if you're not facing them, they can get you.
So I don't, maybe wild Pokemon, maybe.
Yeah.
But for any of the trainers that I ran into, if I wasn't like sneak up on them, they just like a question mark pops above their health, like.
But yeah, they need to make Pokemon more epic,
and they're like
straight epic fights.
And then they
this one be the one?
Pokemon if it's not already out already. And then you summon yours.
And did you get to see like creepy Mega Victory Bell or anything like that?
I did not.
We're seeing
he comes out, he follows you.
We're not seeing the scary trailer they put out that revealed it, but like.
This
I'm not really familiar with all the Pokemon names.
Clean and it's running
especially
well.
the new gens.
I don't think any Pokemon games in a while have really been the ones that
I just know the old gen, like
Pikachu,
Charmeleon,
power under the hood, right? Like it's not like Tears of the Kingdom or something, but it looks
Blast,
clean and it runs
Blastoise,
well. And you
Bulbasaur.
know, I imagine you didn't get to see too much of like the larger world areas.
Did not. I was locked to just one little small space. For basically, I had to complete 3 battles to earn enough credit to give it a ticket, so then I could challenge somebody to raise my rank from Z to Y.
I want to see more gameplay.
But I wasn't even
like
able to do. Unfortunately, the demo ends before you're able to do that challenge battle. So I don't know what those look like either.
It's gonna be retro. Dude,
it'll
look
be
how
very
packed
interesting
it
to
is.
see how
It's
the bigger
very
moves,
packed.
like earthquake, surf,
Look at that.
thunder, moves that are either like more screen covering or tougher to dodge.
Right.
Because I did find it pretty easy to maneuver my Pokemon around to dodge many of the attacks.
Oh,
but
so
also
this
I
is gonna
was
be on the
fighting
Switch
against,
too.
like, Weedles, so I wasn't really ever in danger.
I wonder if it's gonna be on the Switch
Yeah,
One.
nothing that was too taxing on the Switch 2 hardware.
Exactly. So we'll see what
Or
it
is
looks
it
like when,
exclusive?
they showed that trailer with like the Gyarados.
Oh, it has a story?
We'll see what those types of moves look like.
Looking at it being played on all the different monitors,
There's a little
you
story.
kind of get a good feel for
From the looks of it.
people using different actions. I mean, I think they got so much backlash over the performance in the past.
It looks like
that
like an
performance and
anime.
running smoothly was at the top of their list, and you can see they're holding
Does
back on
Pokemon count
visuals,
as an
right? Like,
anime?
Yeah.
These are not crazy
think it
detailed
is.
textures on
Right,
the ground. They're
right.
not doing a ton on the lighting front, so it's very
Yeah,
simple.
I think it
but
does.
I think they're trying their darndest to get
Pokemon
this to
battle.
run as smoothly as possible, which means it's not going to be a generational leap over what we remember playing, but it actually probably is a nice step up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I
It could-
think
this
the
could be-
thing for a while was,
I don't know.
You know, these games keep
It could
selling
be epic.
incredible amounts, just obnoxiously high numbers.
Yep.
It could be
And
epic. I'm
that,
not sure.
You know, people thought maybe the developers don't even care about performance because they keep
Okay, look at-
hitting, you
oh,
know,
there's so
crushing
many
sales
wild
targets
Pokemons
or whatever
out.
it is. But it is nice to see, at least so far, them prioritizing that a bit. And
Is it
hopefully
like
that
free
is
roam?
something that
You're
holds up
out,
in the larger
seeing a lot
areas.
of Pokemon.
They were never, I mean, this
Catching them
Game
up.
Freak, they were never sort of at the forefront of technical innovation, right?
Yeah.
Like, remember, like, games like Link to the Past, that had been out in 1990, and Pokemon still did not look as good for years and years to come, right? So,
Right.
I mean, their strengths were always in the RPG mechanics, the
sure.
depth of combat, the builds you can put your teams together. That was like always like the #1 priority, and then like cool creature design. You know,
Yeah.
was number. You know, maybe that was #1 because I think that's what sells Pokemon. It's like, you know, if Charmander.
You know what? I would like to have a Pokemon that I could raise. A Pokemon that I could raise and he evolves as I train and give him new skills. I think that's how it was with the first retro Pokemon games. Like your Charmander evolved to Charizard throughout the game. And as soon as you lose them, you feel bad for losing them.
Stories here at Gamescom, and
That's
talk
how
about a
much
couple of
you
other
love your
games,
Pokemon
actually.
back
so
in the day.
I actually got to play Elden Ring Tarnished Edition on
I don't know.
Switch.
This one looks like a.
It's sort of been a.
It looks like a Gen
what a
Z
name.
type of
Brian, what a
Pokemon
name.
game.
What a name indeed.
Is the name fitting? Tarnished.
made for the
Fitting?
Gen
Okay,
Zs.
I'm gonna be a little gentler on this game than I think some of my colleagues, but I'm gonna kick it in the butt a little bit.
money hat.
Oh, yeah, they, you know, I got that
They
that
got
big
to you
money
already.
from- They
They
got
got
to
you.
you.
They
Yeah,
got
this is.
you.
I mean,
Yeah.
You've already got it downloaded on your Switch.
Games
You
like
can see a
3
little
years
dollar
old.
bill in his pocket, or yen bill.
No, so I loved Elden Ring so much. I've made, you know, I've a
Ooh,
big point of that on
Elden
the podcast
Ring.
for years now.
Yeah.
100% of that game, did everything you can do in the DLC. Adore it.
Oh,
FromSoft,
Daddy
I don't
loved
think
it.
has the greatest history of making the best performing
As
games.
a real fan.
I think their art direction is second to none, and I think
Yeah,
that
yeah.
does a lot of heavy lifting. And their gameplay is phenomenal, so people love it. When Elden Ring
I never-
came to
I never
PC,
played Elden
people
Ring.
with like the beefiest
Just
PCs in the world
Night Rain.
notably had some performance issues. There was stuttering and pop-in and all this stuff. Elden Ring running on Switch 2 on the Nintendo show, or on the Gamescom
What?
show floor is an
Elden
interesting one
Ring on the
because
Switch
they
2?
literally said no one could film
I
it.
think I knew
which I
that,
believe is the only game at that
but I
booth where
forgot.
they're just like, this is not allowed.
Yeah.
They have it
What
behind
the-
curtains, and part of that could be because it's like an M-rated game, and they have, you know,
100%. Yeah, you have to have the
younger audiences.
wristband.
Yeah, you
at
need a wristband
Gamescom
and
to
all
get
that.
in, Yeah.
So I played it. They had it on
Oh.
2 units, 2 docked,
That
and
makes
2
sense.
handheld. And I was like, please let me play it docked because I heard it's bad in handheld.
yeah.
And they're like, we don't understand what you're saying, so you play it handheld.
Great.
And I was like, great, okay. So they handed me the Nintendo Switch. Put
This
the
guy.
headphones on.
Dude, this guy said, let me play it on dock, and they're like, no. You're and that's crazy because I think on handheld, to me, I think on handheld is better than dock, no? Because on On Switch 2 handheld, you're getting 120 frames or 120 HS. I'm not sure. I think it's 120 frames per second. Yeah. And on TV or unless you have a crazy monitor, you're getting what you get.
Started off beginning of the game.
That's pretty funny.
Run past the first area into the open world.
Let me hear that again.
And I was like, great, okay.
Yeah.
And they're like, it docked because I heard it's bad in the handheld.
Yeah.
He told them that. I heard it's bad on it.
And they're like, we don't understand what you're saying. So you
what?
play it.
No, here, play.
And I was like, great, okay. So they handed me the Nintendo Switch, put the headphones on,
That's
started off
funny.
beginning of the game, bullet run past the first area into the open world of Limgrave, and I'm like, this isn't that bad. Now,
1080p 30 is what they're going for, right?
Yes, and they're not hitting it.
Okay.
But
All right.
I'm also not as snobby about that as most people.
Okay.
So my stance on this is like there's a lot of people who listen to this show who just don't own other systems, and that's fine, right? Like they're Nintendo fans, and you guys, you owned a Switch, maybe you owned a Wii U or 3DS or a Wii or whatever your path came up with. But when these big third-party games come out, like Cyberpunk and The Witcher and stuff like that, this could be your first opportunity to play them. And so, by all means, I want those versions to be as
that's very true. That's true.
Great as they can for you. And so far, right now,
like
this.
Say if you have a Switch 2 and you never play like Cyberpunk. And Cyberpunk now it's on Switch 2. That's your time to try it, you know? That's your time to try it. Same thing with Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. Like I never play a Metal Gear Solid game, to be honest. Like if I never play a Metal Gear Solid game or never play Snake Eater, will be a good idea to try it for your first time and get mind blown?
Ain't that. But it was, for me, manageable. It was something where I was like, I could.
Same thing with Elden Ring.
This. Now,
I never played Elden Ring. What if I get an Elden Ring on Switch 2? Or maybe not. I think people will be like, yo, the Switch 2 is not. It's gonna be like the graphics are gonna look whack.
If you have played Elden Ring
on the Switch 2,
you know that like that open world's big.
Oh, who knows?
And you get into some areas where there's a lot of enemies on screen.
If they show us a gameplay here for the Switch 2 Elden Ring, it would be nice.
Right? Yeah. And so I ran up to the area when you kind of move up and left towards that first big castle, and that big giant guy jumps down, and it looked like someone took like 2 pictures of a giant and dropped it off a cliff. Like it was just like boom, boom, and then he was there. And I was like, I'm going to keep running. I'm going to push this game to the limit, see what happens. The archers start coming out, and like dodge rolling past them was like I couldn't do it fast enough. And then I get to the first big boss, and like that's when the frame rate started becoming an issue. The
You're
performance.
not selling me on it right now.
Yeah.
You
So
started off saying it's not that bad, it's fine, and now you're like, I'm worried now.
Yes, yeah.
But, there is one thing to remember.
Alright, let me skip a little bit here to the gameplay. Oh, there it is. I think it's Elden Ring.
Yeah, the developers told me, I interviewed them about the
this is another game.
The DLC that's coming out soon, the Order of Giants, and I asked them
it's Indiana
if this
Jones
would be sort of
DLC.
feature complete on Switch and if it would have the DLC included, and they said yes. So that's awesome. Hopefully they put it on a cart and
Indiana
collectors did everything
Jones,
all at once.
the
I
new
also
Circle's
asked them
coming
if
out
they'd
in Switch
considered
2
using,
as well.
Motion control Joy-Cons for the whip, and they looked at me like I was crazy. So I don't think
yeah. That wouldn't be fun. Did you play it, Jada?
I did. It
For the
came
people
out
that
at a
never
time
play
where I
Indiana
was
Jones,
not
this is
in the
your
mood for slower pace,
time
like
to
a
play it.
system that it is.
If you have,
So
if you own the
I
Switch
I
2
got-
console
I
and you
think I
have
made
no
it to the
games,
Vatican, and then I had to put it
try out
down.
Indiana
I was like, I'm not
Jones.
feeling this, and I don't want it to have a bad taste.
'Cause you're
in
gonna
my
have some
mouth for
DLC
playing this right
content
now when
coming
I'm not
soon.
in the mood for it.
It's not one of those games where I would say, oh, just keep playing and it gets better. Like Donkey Kong Bonanza, I firmly believe that the farther you get, the better the game gets. This one, like, if you didn't like the Vatican, it's in a city with lots of people, and you eventually go to the jungle and you pilot a boat and
It's
all
like
that.
a
So
movie.
it
You're
does
watching
feel better
Indiana
later,
Jones movie.
exploration-wise. But if you didn't dig it, it's not going to change a ton.
Oh,
it
I
looks like a
like
movie.
immersive sims. I like games.
Yeah.
I like
Ancient
Indiana
Rome's
Jones.
biggest
it just came out at a
secret
time when
awakens.
I was like, I've played a couple of these things right
Ooh,
now.
dude.
I've
Legit.
played a couple slower paced things. I want to play
Coliseum.
something that's more faster paced, more action oriented.
Well,
Ancient
you will love
Coliseum.
another game that got announced. I'll say it real quick before we
Indiana
move on to the end of
Jones
the show.
and the Gray Circle.
Lego Batman.
The Order of Giants.
Legacy of the Dark Knight. So this is coming to Switch 2. I imagine it's going to run and play great because it's a Lego game. So it feels like a spiritual successor to Lego City Undercover to me because it's got the open world elements, plus the Arkham games,
Batman
all
Lego
that fun stuff.
coming for the Switch 2 as well.
Combat is so Arkham. Like,
yeah,
literally,
it is.
Popping into the, underneath the levels, hanging from the gargoyle.
I mean, it's got the brick flow system now.
Yep.
Where's the PC games?
Developers, they told us like every
I'm waiting for the
Batmobile ever
PC
in the game,
games
they got to
now.
reveal some of the characters and suits.
Or
and
maybe
stuff like
that was yesterday.
Go check out our Gamescom coverage of that. Last story, real quick.
That was day 3.
Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
For now, it's all
on
Nintendo.
Website.
T for teen.
It's T for teen.
Yep.
But that also means that it's like basically complete.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
Wait, it's T? Ah, that's messed up, dude. They rated Batman rated T. So that means, man, it don't matter.
For that to happen?
It's usually what?
It makes sense why they're rated T.
Away for,
They have explosions, I guess.
Usually there are
Metroid.
ESRB rated games that have never come out.
That is
ladies
true.
and gentlemen.
That's the new one?
That usually means they're getting ready for release because they submitted documentation and playable stuff to them.
Dude, this one should have been released already.
See what you did there.
I don't know why they're lagging.
But the demo we played here was the demo we played a couple of months ago.
Yeah, same one that was
Oh, it has
Switch
nice
2 previews.
graphics.
I expected that, though. Honestly,
Yeah,
they
same.
spent a lot of time making a very complete demo with timer and all of that, and it's to demonstrate the mouse controls, which I thought were excellent.
Yeah, they're great.
That's the reason, dude. They should have released that on the... Dude, Nintendo dropped the ball on that one right there. They should have dropped Metroid. They used the mouse control input. That would have been, they'd be like, oh, damn, this is like next level.
The game's gorgeous.
What the hell?
I can't wait to play it on Switch 2.
What
It's a
the
little
hell,
surprising it
man?
doesn't have
What
a
the hell,
release date just
Nintendo?
yet, since Kirby did.
That's why I'm wearing my
plenty of
Super
months before
Mario
the end of the
shirt
year,
right
and
now.
Nintendo's launched 2 games in a month
To
before.
support
so
them.
Gotta be this. Yeah, at this point, like, it's gotta be. Yeah.
Well, thank you both so much. This has been an awesome Gamescom covering Nintendo. As always, that just about wraps us up for a very special Gamescom 2025 episode of MVC right here in Cologne, Germany. Thank you, Jada. Thank you, Per. And thank you to the entire crew working here. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Behind the scenes at Gamescom Studio on IGN, new episodes of MVC hit YouTube and your favorite podcast app every week. And they're hosted by Logan Plant, who's an amazing dude and a great friend. I love you, buddy. So be sure to tune in every week and check those out. And as always, Nintendo Voice Chat is an IGN production and part of the Geek Media Network. Be sure to check out all of our other weekly IGN and Geek Media podcasts. And remember, Nintendo Voice Chat is the only place
That
where
was
you
day
can
4 of
Get the Thing. Nailed it.
Get the Thing.
Happy Gamescom, everybody.
I think it's the
Happy
first time we got them all
Gamescom.
together.
Yeah.
Did we? That was pretty innocent.
Oh my God, usually it's like...
Shout out to
stacked.
IGN.
Let's go get some coach.
Yeah.
I'm down.
And some gelato.
Is that it, though?
Nearly every video game heading your way in the not-so-distant future. Take a look.
Hello, everybody.
On AI.
On September 3rd, there's Hirogami on PC and PS5, a 3D platformer set in a world inspired by origami, the Japanese art of folding paper, and potentially
Dude, that's kinda
kirigami, which is the
sick.
art of folding and cutting paper. If you prefer
Origami?
something a little heavier than paper and scissors, you can rock out in the metal-looking Jotun Slayer Hordes of Hell, which is a roguelite horde survival game rooted in Norse mythology.
Hordes of
That's
Hell.
on PC, PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. I already
It's like
said
a little
PC.
Diablo game right
Hey,
there.
remember how I said
If you like
sometimes video
Diablo,
game
you know,
release
like
dates
that
come
one.
out of nowhere? Well, we got a doozy over here. Hollow Knight's long-awaited sequel, Silk Song, finally got
this
a
one's a
release
big
date
one.
in the middle
Hollow
of
Knight,
Gamescom.
Silk
You
Song.
probably heard about it already. September 4th, it's coming to basically everything.
Not
Happy
my type of
birthday, Silk
game,
Song
but-
fans. Or just happy September 4th, I guess.
I mean, it's a
On the 4th,
platformer
those
like
very same
Mario.
platforms get the standard edition of Hell is Us. The
But
deluxe
I don't like
edition
the
gives
art
early
style.
access starting on the 1st, but
Oh,
for
this one too,
everybody else,
Hell
it's
is
the
Us.
4th.
This one's
For
a big
me,
one.
Hell is staggered release dates. But in any case, this game has hints of Death Stranding and FromSoft, but it's also taking some inspiration from Jeff Vandermeer's Southern Reach
It looks like a
trilogy,
Dark
very good
Souls to
sci-fi
me.
novels that were loosely adapted into the
What do you
also
mean
very
Death
good but
Stranding?
very different film Annihilation. So hopefully this game is also very good. September 4th also sees the release of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle's first DLC
Indiana Jones and the
expansion,
Great Circle,
Order
the
of
Order
the
Giants.
Giants.
This is the
coming
one
to all
that we were
platforms
watching.
the game is already out on, which
Damn.
sadly does not yet include the Nintendo Switch 2. But if you're a Nintendo Switch 2 owner itching for a game that starts with the Lucasfilm logo and has John Williams-esque orchestral stabs throughout, Star Wars
I mean,
Outlaws gets a port that day, which adds a few
Indiana Jones is already on Game Pass.
exclusive features to the new Nintendo hybrid, like touchscreen
Star Wars
minigames,
Outlaws is the
and
Switch
both the
2.
Outlaws DLC expansions will be available.
Huh. A lot of there's mixed feelings of Star Wars Outlaws. People say it's lifeless, there's no really lack of content, and some people say it's freaking like Red Dead Redemption, Star Wars, Out in the wilderness, Metal Gear Solid type of gameplay.
For that one, day one. If you're more into Studio Ghibli,
I think you just gotta try for yourself, but
Lucasfilm, take a
but
gander.
then again, if they were right, you feel bamboozled because you spend that much money on a game, like $70, or sometimes, yes, $70. Yeah, I mean sometimes they're on sale. So just wait until they're on sale.
Kajora, which hits PC that day. This hand-drawn
to
puzzle
try 'em out.
platformer follows a trio
Like
of
Star Wars
friends who realize
Outlaws.
their village is stuck in a time loop.
I'll wait until it's
If
like
you'd rather be in a time loop in a more
$10.
roguelite sense, and also in outer space, you've got options. The co-op roguelite shooter Void Crew,
It's like
which is
$10
already on PC, comes to Xbox Series and PS5. Meanwhile,
Or
PC
$7
players can get Moros Protocol, a crunchy pixelated roguelite boomer shooter. If you want to shoot cel-shaded stuff instead, I got
The hell
you.
is that?
There's also Jet
Look like a
Runner,
Minecraft type of game.
hardcore-infused FPS that describes itself as a cross between Titanfall and Trackmania. If you would sooner get slapped upside the head than play a roguelite or an FPS, well,
Slap
strap
fighter.
on your MetaQuest and check
Slap,
out the
slap.
story-driven VR fighting game
Oh, that's kind of cool. For MetaQuest,
Slap Fighter, which sounds
Slap.
pretty self-explanatory.
bro, just gonna train you how to slap.
If you want to rage against the machine
Nah,
in a game
that's
whose title
crazy. There's
incorporates
a
the
trapping
James
simulator,
Cameron movie, as well
a
as the
slapping
name of
simulator, dude.
discontinued youth-oriented Toyota-owned
It's-
auto brand, well,
it's gonna train your
Damon Ex
memory
Machina,
muscle to
Titanic
slap
Scion
people.
is probably for you, I think. The sequel to the 2019 mech action game, which is coming to
Oh.
Switch 2, Xbox Series
That one's hardcore right there. Damien Ex Machina Titanic.
PS5 and PC.
Whoa.
If you want something with slick anime aesthetics that's a
Hardcore.
little more cerebral, there's also Shoot an Order, which blends puzzle, dating sim, survival horror, and
Nintendo
escape
Switch
room
PC.
mechanics and themes into something that looks pretty out there, which is to be
Sounds
expected
like a
since
little
it's from the
comic.
creator of Danganronpa. That's on PC and Switch. If you'd rather be shooting some three-pointers, there's also NBA
2K26.
2K26.
Oh, 2K26. Nah, I never played a 2K game. I always wanted to play 2K, and I remember downloading 2K25 or 2K20, not sure. It was for like a PSN exclusive, so it was free. You get to download it unless you have the subscription for PlayStation. And I couldn't even get into it. I just played it for like 3 minutes. I let the intro play, and then I took it off.
That day as well on everything, though people
Since, so they
pre-order
have
the
it
premium
for-
editions that include early access will have been playing this game since
You're
last
gonna have it
month.
for all the consoles.
If you're repulsed by the idea of a sport where one must propel a large ball a short distance into a vessel it's going to fall out of, and you'd prefer to play a game about propelling a very small ball large distances into a vessel where it'll probably stay put, well, that's oddly specific, but you're probably going to enjoy Everybody's Golf
Everybody's
Hot
Golf Hot
This
Shots.
is the first new installment in the casual
Sick.
cartoony golf series in 8 years, and while it's historically been PlayStation exclusive, this new one is coming to PC and Switch as well. Goal!
What the hell? That's a Nintendo exclusive and it's coming for PC and PlayStation 5? They could do that? Dude, they could do that?
Golf.
Oh, that's
September 5th also sees
crazy.
the latest from Team Bloober, Chronos New Dawn, a survival horror steeped in
Dude, they
retro
should, if they add Donkey Kong Bonanza on PC, they'll mod in them as Hulk.
futurism and
Oh, here it is. This is Chronos the New Dawn. This one's pretty like Dead Space. It's a Dead Space type of game.
brutalist aesthetics. In
It's
this
for all
one, if you don't get
consoles.
rid of the gross, scary monsters properly, they merge together into even grosser, scarier monsters that are even harder to get rid of, which
These are
sounds
the
to me like a
Necroglobins.
combination of two of the creepiest concepts
They're called
to ever grace the
Necroglobins.
survival horror genre. The Crimson Head zombies in the original Resident Evil, which you had to burn to
Whoa.
get rid of, and the Rat King in The Last of Us
'Cause you're
Part
on in
2, which was a
space,
bunch
like
of
Dead
gross
Space.
monsters glued together. That's
And the
on
monsters
PS5,
are
Xbox
like
Series, Switch 2, and PC.
Dead Space
if you'd like
monsters
to play a
too.
game about things with tentacles that will not give you bad dreams at night, you might be better off with Operation
Oh, yeah.
Octo, which is a cute tower defense game about
I think it's for
cartoon
smartphone, for
cephalopods, and
iOS.
it's on PC.
Oh, PC. What the hell? One Piece?
If you love lasagna, hate Mondays, and live your life 1/4 mile at a time, well, buckle up because Garfield Kart 2
No way! Garfield had his own racing game since when? And this is Garfield Kart 2? All you can
All
drift?
You Can Drift hits consoles and PC
No,
on
look at
September
this.
10th.
And it features a flat
Dude, I'm so wrong. There's so many of them. I said to myself, there's not really many Mario Kart competition, but there is.
flabbergasting roster of
You got
8
this
iconic
one,
characters,
we got
including
the one with,
Garfield, Odie,
Sonic
Nermal, John
Riders.
Arbuckle, Arlene, Squeak the Mouse, Dr. Liz
Holy
Wilson,
crap.
and Big Vicious Dog. And by including, I mean that's all of them.
On September 12th, Borderlands 4 hits Xbox Series, PS5, and PC, and
Mario
it's going to
Kart,
be tackling a number of the
clone.
issues that fans had with Borderlands 3 and its subsequent spin-offs. Namely, pumping the brakes on the goofs and gags while also tweaking, streamlining, and or refining the loot system menus
Borderlands
and co-op
4.
that'll be hitting Nintendo Switch 2 on October 3rd as well. Roman Sans Rebuild sounds like a cousin of Roman Reigns, or perhaps a historical RTS, but it is, in fact, an adventure, gacha, puzzle, apocalypse,
They're gonna
visual
show us
novel,
Doom,
simulation, horror
the new
trip,
DLC of
according to the
Doom,
official description.
the Dark Ages.
It involves working at a luxury resort, but also a post-apocalyptic wasteland. I'm not sure how those two intersect, but from what I've gathered, it already came out, sort of, and then it got unreleased.
What the
And
hell?
It was planned for release in 2023, and then again
Everybody's
in
made of
2024, but
paper.
supposedly it's actually out September 12th, 2025 for Switch and PC, with other console
I'm glad they're
versions
still
arriving
releasing
at
games
some
for the
point, I
Switch
guess.
1.
If you need something a little easier pieced together than that release strategy, LEGO Voyagers drops on the 15th, which
LEGO
is a two-player co-op
Voyagers.
adventure a bit like Haze Light's games.
More LEGO games for the LEGO community.
Except instead of playing as prison inmates, dolls with marital problems, or struggling authors, you are a couple of cute little LEGO bricks. That's on basically everything but Xbox One. If you want a game that involves building stuff out of natural resources
Voyagers
instead
and
of
Nera.
modular Danish construction toys, there is Voyagers of Nera, the co-op survival game set in a gorgeous ocean world, which is also an open world, and vice versa, I believe. That hits PC on the 16th. On the 18th, Emotionless, The Last Ticket hits PC, which is a liminal
this is a PC
cosmic
game right
horror
here.
game set
Only
in
for
an
PC.
abandoned theme park where people throw ducks at balloons and nothing is as it seems.
Whoa.
Okay, the ducks
roller
and the balloons
coaster
thing
game?
is really more of a
Scary
Simpsons
roller
reference,
coaster?
but all the rest, it certainly seems like it's nothing as it seems.
If you want to go on a horrifying nightmare adventure but also bring some friends along for emotional support, Labyrinthine Console Edition arrives that same day on PS5 and Xbox Series, and it's
Whoa.
already on PC, and now it's getting cross-platform
Dude, so
co-op
many
for up to
scary
8
games,
players.
so many horror games.
Usually when we talk about classes in video games,
Time
it
to
means
get
like jobs
scared,
for
dude.
wizards and knights and stuff, and not the
This
kind of
year is the
classes you
year
take
to
in
get
Classroom.
scared with
But
horror
what if it was
games.
both?
Class of Heroes 3 Remastered.
That's why,
is a
man, if you're watching
school-centric
this,
dungeon crawling RPG
subscribe,
originally
because
released for the
I'm gonna do
PSP
a
that
lot
is
of
now being
reactions
polished
to
up
some
and
scary
coming to
games.
PS5, Switch, and
I'm gonna
PC.
see if I could get
Still, that
scared.
day is My
I
Child
like,
of Ages, a
to be honest, as a guy, I like creepy things, like Insidious. I don't know, like, it's like a dig thing, like, whoa, why is it creepy? What's going on?
Zelda-like from the
So
studio
I'm
that
not-
brought us the first-person puzzle game
It's hard for me to get
Suicide
scared
Die,
with
which was
creepy
later
things.
renamed Sleep and
So I'll give
Die
it a
for
try.
reasons that shouldn't be too hard to figure out. My Child of Ages
There's
is
a
coming
lot
to
of
PC
games.
on the 18th, Switch on the 25th, and basically everything else at some point in the future. They should do a prequel called My Wife
What
of
game is
Seasons.
this? Little
Finally,
Mermaid?
that day also sees Frostpunk 2 finally hitting Xbox Series and PS5, which promises to be a good time for
Frostpunk.
anyone who's looking to have a
Huh.
bad time managing a struggling community in a bleak post-apocalyptic ice age.
If you're a fan of roguelites and you've ever wanted to guard a sacred tree, well, great news, because on the 19th, there is Toa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree, which also has that guy in it.
Which is a roguelite that presumably also entails some arboreal enforcement. That means guarding a tree, I think. That's on PS5, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. Still that day on Switch and PC and PS5 is Trails in the Sky First Chapter. This is, in fact, a remake of the first game, ergo First Chapter, in the long-running Trails series, so if you're looking for a good jumping-on point, this could be for you. And if you've been playing since day one and don't remember everything that happened in a game from 21 years ago, this could also be for you. All of these games could be for anybody if you think about it.
If you want to brutally murder a bunch of dead stuff that's not entirely dead and do some parkour while you're at it, well, great news, because Dying Light the Beast is also out this month.
Which is one of those games that started off as DLC,
Oh, this one,
before
Dying Light the
spinning off
Beast.
into a whole thing of its own. And hey, that's how we got
This
Legend
game's
of Zelda:
brutal.
Tears of the Kingdom. But on the other hand, it's also how we got Saints Row:
Fatalities.
Gat Out of Hell. Hopefully, this goes
So all
more
the
like
zombies
the
you
former than the
see-
latter, but we'll have to wait and see. On the 23rd, you
That
can
one's
explore
crazy,
the world
Dying
of
Light the
gelatinous
Beast.
agriculture and Slime Rancher 2 on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC.
Slime
or the
Rancher?
world of
What the-
electrophysical puzzle solving in House of Tesla. on
Oh, what
PC.
the? House of
Some
Tesla?
people try to tell you that denial is not a river in Egypt, but those people
Dude, he's
are
going with the
lying.
game so fast.
If you'd like to
Holy
uncover the truth
crap.
of-
Slow down. Hold on, let me slow down this dude. He's going too fast. Too fast for me, man.
Egypt, but those people are lying to themselves.
There we go, man. So
If you'd
talk
like to
slow.
uncover the truth of some literal
got
pyramid
Christie
schemes, Agatha
did on the
Christie,
Nile.
Death on the Nile retells the classic
Oh, dude, that
whodunit
one's
in an
interesting.
adventure game
Going through the
form, but
pyramids.
It sets it in the groovy 1970s.
And it's for the Switch 1.
That's
No
on
way.
PC, Switch, Xbox Series, and
Dude, I'm
PC.
telling you, dude, the Switch 1, the console for the Switch 1 is almost reaching the PlayStation 2 sales. Like, PlayStation 2 is the biggest console selling, the best selling console. But the Switch 1 is getting there. It's already getting there, trying to take PlayStation 2's spot.
PS5. If you'd rather solve
because there's so many games in the library, everyone wants a Switch one.
The F word scared out of
you. Silent Hill F.
Hill F arrives on the 25th.
Dude, this one's creepy.
Well. This is the first.
I like this one because it's creepy.
The beloved psychological horror series in 13 years.
It is a psychological horror.
Deviating from the mainline.
It messes with your
by
head.
Not actually taking place in the state of Maine. Curious to see how this one lands with longtime Silent Hill fans and curious newcomers alike. That's on Xbox Series, PS5.
All right, let me go back to normal speed.
Still That Day Is Consume Me, a semi-autobiographical indie life sim following a teenage girl who is struggling with an eating disorder and body image issues, which has a cute, colorful aesthetic, but something tells me it gets pretty dark. That's on PC and Mac.
When Sonic the Hedgehog says he's got to go fast, don't worry, he's talking about
Sonic
increasing
Riders.
his velocity, not decreasing his chili dog intake.
Sonic Racing Crossworld sees the blue blur in his usual
Sonic Racing Crossworld, not Sonic Riders.
Space, but with a
I got the name wrong.
Get pretty crowded post-launch. Some free DLC
and this for the Switch One?
Ichiban Kasuga from Like a Dragon,
nice.
From Persona
this is the type of game I'll play in the Switch One, dude. Why would I want to play this on the PC?
Domino's Pizza app.
A live performance of Love for Night, produced by Domino's Crew. Here we go!
But wait, there's more. There's a ton of post-launch DLC.
Dude, this guy's standing next to SpongeBob.
SpongeBob and Patrick, and also a bunch of critters from Minecraft.
So it could be a big old Super Smash Bros. Style crossover kart racer. Personally, I hope they add my top 8 favorite Garfield characters: Garfield, Odie, Nermal, John Arbuckle, Arlene, Squeaky Mouse, Dr. Liz Wilson, and Big Vicious Dog. On September 25th, the American football season will officially be underway. But if you roll your eyes at the idea of a football that won't actually roll because it is technically a folate spheroid, you're in luck. Because EA Sports FC26 is here to help you achieve your goals. You can play that basically everywhere. And
it's available for the Switch One? Dude, what the hell? Crazy. I'm shocked how much in games the Switch One. Dude, it's getting so much love. Shout out to Nintendo, bruh. Holy crap. Even though they're having a little trouble with their fans, but... And the PS4. Shout out to the PS4, dude. The PS4 is getting love. And the Xbox One. Holy crap.
Even more everywhere with early access that starts on the 19th. That time of year has come once again where I'm obligated to say the word Atelier out loud.
The old consoles are getting love, dude.
Tecmo's long-running RPG series.
It's because I think we still got like 3 more years. I see that 3 more years for the... Hopefully 3 more years or 4 more years. Until the newer gen consoles come out, like PlayStation 6 and the new Xbox comes out.
The latest installment, Atelier Resleriana, the Red Alchemist and the White Guardian. It's an all-new single-player RPG with new protagonists, a free-roam overworld, and multi-level dungeons.
Because we need the games,
PS4,
dude.
PS5, Switch,
why
and PC.
Why would we need new consoles when we don't have that much games? We need the games.
Rather than the latest installment in the series.
This is what we're getting. We're eating.
The fan-favorite strategy spin-off Final Fantasy Tactics is getting a modern makeover with the Evil East Chronicles. It's got full
Final
VO,
Fantasy has so
graphics,
many
and a bunch of gameplay tweaks, and it's coming to
That's
everything
unbelievable.
except Xbox One. Sorry, Xbox.
For mini games,
and finally,
mobile
Alien
games.
Earth has your HR Giger counter going haywire, and you want to blast some acid-blooded biomechanical perfect organisms with an M41
This is a game I wanted to
rifle
play.
and/or get
Alien
your skull
Rogue.
caved in by the steel-fanged inner
That's
jaw
on
of one.
PC.
Well, me too. And luckily, Alien Rogue Incursion, last year's VR-exclusive shooter, is getting a non-VR Evolved Edition.
Bear in mind that is only part 1, so expect a cliffhanger after all the face huggers and chest bursters. That's coming to PC and PS5 on September 30th.
And there you have it.
I remember the
Those are
first
whole
one's a
bunch of
scary
games coming out in
game.
September
You just look up and the
Not
freaking
all of them,
creature's there
but a
and
whole
gets
bunch.
you.
If you want to stay 1,000% up to date, go grab the IGN Playlist app. You can track all the games you've ever played, all the games you've ever wanted to play, and even make weird playlists like the top 2 Garfield games featuring fan favorite character Dr. Liz Wilson. If you're looking to score some games on the cheap, go check out what's going on at IGN's sister site, Humble. From now until September 5th, they are holding a summer sale. And if you missed that, rest assured there are always awesome deals going on there.
And then they've got Marathon next year. Again.
Oh, they're talking about the new
Yeah,
PS5
the PS3
Pro?
was initially sluggish.
Is it the PS5 Pro or Slim? Oh, is it Slim?
It caught up towards the tail end, and also
PS5 Slim.
we got some incredible games at the tail end of the PS3 life cycle. So I could see that being the situation here.
Wait, it's the PS5 Pro. So confusing, man.
You know, maybe if they drag out this console generation because it's not selling as fast as they want, that gives developers a little more time to actually play around here, and we get some real bangers towards the end.
I heard that Sony's about to up their prices by like $100 because of the tariffs. Man, that sucks. That's gonna be more expensive, dude. Thank God I have my my PS5 already. Cause it'd be more expensive, dude, to be gaming. Gaming nowadays, dude, it's like a well, gaming has been a luxury.
But yeah,
and it's becoming even more and more of a luxury now.
You know, that
Damn.
lineup of PlayStation exclusives we come
That
to
sucks,
expect.
dude.
And you know, a large reason for that is that
That's why
at
stick
the
with
top
your
of the
Switch
generation,
One,
Sony went
stick
really
with your
hard into live service
PS4.
games, and a bunch
So they
of
could
those
make
didn't
better
exactly
games, you
live
know?
up to the live part, and have since been
And give them more life to the consoles.
How about you?
Yeah, it's such a weird phenomenon where we're at, where just everything is going up. I honestly think
That's so
probably
true.
gonna
Let me
see
turn
a
this up.
price increase on Switch
What you
2s
saying?
in the, like down the road.
Yeah.
Maybe it's gonna go for a year. Nintendo wants to keep that momentum for as long as they can on the new console launch. But I
Savage.
think they're not even immune to it, which is, thankfully they,
And it's crazy how that Nintendo Switch 2 barely came out, so they're barely catching up to the consoles with PS5 and the new Xbox Series X.
saved consumers now by raising the price of all the little accessories and things. I don't think there's a lot more wiggle room on the accessory front.
Look, it's the same games. Trip on the market here. You got Hogwarts, you got Horizon, Fortnite, of course, and your Astrobot.
Before those start to really hurt sales. So I
It's
think
the same
I think,
games from like
maybe we see a small increase on the
2018,
Switch there.
2019.
I think the PS5 will probably see another price increase.
Look, this is very confusing. So this was the OG. Which one's the Slim?
I think it's going to probably. Hopefully not. I really hope
It's
not.
confusing. I think this
Just
one's a
'cause
Slim right here.
It's just
This
This
one's
used
a
to be the hobby to save money. You know what I mean? You would buy a console.
Even it
The Slim is nice.
Yeah,
Pretty thin.
because it's still like
The
the best
USBs,
value for
the
your
LAN
dollar. You're getting
interconnect.
Correct.
Dozens, possibly
fan.
hundreds of hours for
a couple $100.
Yeah, yeah.
Something that you could go out and have like a nice dinner and it's same amount
Oh,
of money
look
you
at the
spend on a
heat.
console, but that's one time versus years. So it'll be interesting to see how
Nice.
far that kind of that recession-proof kind of dollar changes now as these consoles go up in
So
price.
yeah, we got all the
It's a bigger
consoles, dude. We
commitment,
got PS5
and not
Pro.
all families are
We
willing
got the
to
Switch
do that.
2. We got the PC.
Yeah.
We just
I'm
need
not
the games.
an economist.
None of us are. None of us.
But
We got the
I
hardware.
can't help thinking that PS5 is 5 years old.
And now we finally get the
we
games,
have a
dude.
10% tariff on China, where I think a large part of their manufacturing is done.
Oh, that's so true, man. The
10% is
tariffs.
$50, so they increased the cost of the console $50. But I just think I
Damn
can't
it,
help but wonder,
politics.
did they have to do that? Could they have not just absorbed that? The console's 5 years old. I don't know. Again.
Trip on this. Let me see the specs of PS5. You got the AMD Zen 2 CPU, AMD RDNA 2 GPU, 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 RAM, Wi-Fi 6.
I think it's a loss
internet.
on their part to not just absorb the cost,
Yeah.
but
16
also,
gigabytes of VRAM is
I
impressive.
don't know what their financials look like. I don't know how far they're
That's
looking
next
at
level right there.
predicting and how
Damn. 8 times cores, 3.0 gigahertz. God damn.
do we just eat the loss for 3 months, 6 months? Have they been eating the loss for?
Oh, this is Miles Morales.
We know.
Triple. We got the PS5 on the left and the PS5 on the right.
We know they don't make profit on the consoles to begin with. Most consoles are.
It's not really that much of a difference. The PS5 Pro, just 2 frames. That's it. Wow.
Sold at a loss.
Crazy.
They make their money in the software. Where's the software?
Could use some more of that too.
We could use some more of that.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, the PS5 came out what, in 2020? 2021? When did the PS5 come out? Let me see. I want to be accurate with this. Let me ask Copilot. When did PS5 come out? It came out in 2020. I was right. Wow, I was right. Okay, PS5 came out in 2020. 5 years. Why does it feel like it's still new? Why does it feel like it came out like last year? It's pretty odd, dude.
Now there is the GTA 6 of it all.
Yeah.
This is a big question mark here because we've talked a lot about that's the game that.
What you said?
Big question. Now there is the GTA 6 of it all.
GTA 6, holy crap.
Yeah.
This is a big question mark here because.
AKA the big nuke. The big mother bomb.
We've talked a lot.
AKA Armageddon.
About that's the game that they could charge a premium for.
Correct.
It's like the most anticipated game. Nintendo charged $80 for Mario Kart World.
It's Armageddon for the whole gaming industry. Because everybody's saying that GTA 6 we're about to up the price to $100. And if they do, that gives the right to everybody to do the same thing. But they already announced that they're not. They said hell no. They're keeping it traditional.
That I think is a little bit silly that they did that. But they could do that for GTA 6. They could charge $80. They could charge $90. They could charge $100
Nah,
for
they're
it.
not, dude.
Talked about it, and they could get away with that. However,
they could. They could if they're like the rest of all these companies, but they're not, dude.
It's only available. It's not on PC at launch.
Not yet.
You have to have either a PlayStation or Xbox to play it.
Yeah. Hopefully not, dude.
PlayStation's far more popular.
Even though like a lot of these like GTA, Battlefield, Call of Duty, the OG developers are not there no more.
Popular. So like that's probably that's like the platform to play
popular franchises.
It could have been a system seller, but now the PS5 costs $50 more.
That
eats in, if they charge $100 for it, that's only $30 more than a regular AAA game. But now the console costs $50 more.
It's going to be a regular
so like,
$70 game, dude, and it's definitely worth it, dude.
Yes.
GTA 6, to be honest, a lot of games that are $70 are not worth $70. They're not even worth $60 or $50. Probably $30. Some games, dude, because they're just so copy and pasted. Like Call of Duty should be $30. Good thing it's on Game Pass. But dude, GTA 6 is the only game that's really worth $70, dude, to be honest. It's probably even worth $100, to be honest. But they're not upping the price like that. They're just going with the gaming standards, which is ethical of them.
Yeah.
So like the math isn't mathing.
The math is not mathing.
Insane.
The number's too high.
I am so excited, not in a good way, just to see what the price is for that game.
Yeah.
Because it really is going to be. I mean, it's going to be immediately one of the best-selling pieces of
Get
media
the Xbox
ever.
port over here.
It's a monolithic thing. I'm really curious to see who gets the first bundle. You know,
that's what I was thinking. Because like that would be a great way for Sony to kind of offset this price increase. Throw in a free copy of Spider-Man 2. Like, just start throwing in those types of games.
No. I mean with GTA. Like,
you're talking about a GTA
we
bundle.
are going to at some point have a GTA 6 bundle with a console, and I'm wondering what console is going to be in there. You know?
Oh yeah. But this guy's so true. It's going to be the bundle for GTA 6. It has to be the PS5 Pro or the PS5 Slim. It has to be the PlayStation.
Oh, it has to be PlayStation,
not the Xbox.
right? I mean,
doesn't have to be.
I mean, it's just hard to imagine Xbox doing that.
I mean, I imagine it's.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not gonna be Xbox. It's gonna be PlayStation, dude. Because Xbox is more leaning focus on Game Pass. You think GTA 6 want to put it on Game Pass? Hell no. They're gonna put it on the PlayStation, the traditional console.
Rockstar
that's why
isn't going
PlayStation right now is the only console that's like traditional, even though it's kind of like
it's going to be
having problems.
Again, that's going to move. It's going to move units. That's going to move a bunch of consoles.
Well, all of them are having problems.
Especially if
Nintendo,
there's a GT
Xbox,
logo on the box. Anybody who hasn't, scooped
nothing's
up
perfect.
A current gen console is.
But for right now, we're surviving with PlayStation.
It's going to move some
until we wait for GTA 6. Look, we're waiting for GTA 6. PlayStation. Look at GTA 6, Battlefield 6. Elder Scrolls 6, and then after that, we're gonna have the PlayStation 6. 2 years later, PlayStation 6 comes out. We're gonna have probably a GTA 6 export. It's gonna be pretty wild, dude. In 2026.
I wonder if the price increase of the PS5 will somehow keep the cost of GTA 6 down, knowing that they need to sell the game, but the console costs more, so they can't.
We still got like 2 years.
Maybe they
for the PlayStation 6 to come
I see
out.
where you're getting with that.
Or maybe in a year and a half.
Rockstar cares to that degree, and not to say they don't care about their customers. I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
But I think they know that the consumers aren't upset at them that everything is more. They know the consumers are gonna blame Sony for the price increases. So they're just going to do their own playbook like they always do as Rockstar.
Yeah.
And they're just going to rake it in regardless.
Exactly. Rockstar's going to sell regardless.
So if you want to get into console gaming today, and you want to use physical media, what you're looking at is a PS5 is $550, a Switch 2 is $500 because there's no reason not to buy the Mario Kart bundle, and then a Series X is $600.
All right, we're talking about back to the Switch 2.
So what's the best value, in your opinion, getting into gaming? If you're getting in today, what's the best value there?
That's a good question.
You know, before the Switch 1 increases, I'd say buy a Switch 1 and wait a couple years.
Exactly.
But I don't know.
Exactly, dude. Unless you're a hardcore gamer and you just want to do like or unless you're a game journalist and want to do a review on the console and you get paid for it, yeah, get a Switch 2, I guess. But right now, just stick with the Switch 1 or get a Switch 1. I say get a Switch Lite. The best price you get is a Switch Lite. It's legit. But if you want to have the Switch features, get a regular Switch. Hold it.
I'm a PlayStation person, and I know the value there, and I think digital. If you go with the digital, you get a little bit of it cheaper. You miss not on the physical media, which is a bummer for a lot of people, but I think it just kind of simplifies a lot of things.
For real, I agree with that.
I think that's
everything becoming digital. Like
PlayStation is getting more Xbox games than Xbox is getting PlayStation games, which is to say they're not really getting any.
Dude, that's so true. PlayStation is getting hella games. PlayStation and PC are like more close, but Xbox, it's already on PC. Xbox is already PC, but it's not getting the same type of games.
So if you're trying to jump in,
never thought of that.
PlayStation seems the best entry point. I think there's something appealing about the Switch 2.
Cue the comments like, oh, this is totally like one-sided. Of course, the PlayStation guys on the PlayStation podcast say the PlayStation.
I love my Series X. I adore my Series X. I think Game Pass is awesome. I love that I don't have to recharge my controller.
Exactly,
every
dude.
4
I have
hours.
Game Pass
I love
too.
not having.
I mean, I don't have an Xbox at all. The last Xbox I had was Xbox 360, and then I moved to PS4, then to PS5, and from there, between PS4 and PS5, I got a Switch 1, and the Switch 1 was lit. And now I'm on PC. I'm on Steam, and PC on Steam is like, it's more sick because you don't pay for subscription. You play for free online, so just get yourself Xbox Game Pass and just hop in on all the Battlefields you get to play. That's why in my channel you see some Battlefield 3. You're gonna see all the Battlefields.
Uninstall everything off of my hard drive. I want to put something on there. I'm saying I adore my Series X. It's more expensive, and Xbox games are going to PlayStation.
No. I get it.
Yeah.
Also, everything's an Xbox. Remember, like you can play most Xbox games on your computer. If you already have a computer, if you have a laptop, you can just kind of.
My laptop is a freaking Xbox.
The thing I'm curious about is like again, you buy next gen gaming hardware.
I'm on a freaking
you want to get
Xbox right now.
New games coming out. The Switch 2 more powerful than its predecessor. Not saying much, it's maybe a notch ahead of a PS4, which is a 13-year-old piece of hardware. I'm wondering if the popularity of the Switch 2, because it is selling very quickly,
That's why Xbox consoles are in trouble right now, dude. Right now, everybody's not trying to get consoles. Probably for the next, I'll say, 5 to 10 years. Yeah, maybe 5 years. 10 years is too much. I say like these 5 years, there's gonna be that much console selling because everybody has their PS4, and they're barely trying. Even though it's been 5 years later, they're still trying to get to the PS5. They're trying to do the switch up, and that's just to play GTA 6. And once you play GTA 6, people want to be playing that game for 4 to 5 years. Like GTA 5, how long have they been playing it? For 10 years? It's going to be the same thing with GTA 6. They're going to play the out of it years and years to come. So I don't think they'd be interested to buy a PlayStation 6 or a brand new Xbox. That's why they're in trouble, man.
Cause
in
developers
my opinion,
to maybe just kind of hold
in my
back
humble
a little
opinion,
bit on pushing next gen tech. Like we've seen.
That's why stop pushing next gen tech, dude.
Fun and shiny and new.
That's their problem. They're pushing next gen tech. Like, okay, more, new RTX graphics, more, better. But dude, we just wanna play the game and enjoy it. They're going like this. We should be going like this, a smooth sail. Not go too crazy.
You look at something running on a Switch 2 compared to a PS5 Pro.
We're talking about graphic-wise.
Quite as good.
Yeah.
But again, you also
just
can
focus
have
on the
some very
gameplay,
games
dude.
Regardless, like it's
focus on the
fine. And
gameplay.
I just maybe we don't need to be focusing on like hair physics in like people's eyebrows. If that's causing games to take 9 years to develop.
Yeah, he's trying to say let's stop with the graphics. Let's go with the gameplay, dude.
And
the mind-blowing gameplay, some good
graphics
games like GTA,
been, like, the least important
Battlefield
factor
6.
when it comes to me buying a game. I care about the gameplay.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man's a good game.
I care about the sound.
I never played. Wait, I'm lying. Spider-Man 1 was good. Spider-Man with Kingpin. I think all the 5 bosses came out, like Scorpion, Shocker, Vulture. They all came out in Spider-Man 1, I remember. And then Spider-Man 2, it's just with Miles and you're against Venom. But in Spider-Man 2, for some reason, Peter, he was like weak. He needed Miles to help him. Even Mary Jane's had to help him. That's crazy. That's the part I didn't like about Spider-Man 2.
Before I care about the graphics, like
my concern though is performance, because like graphics is one thing, performance is a big thing, and like we'll see a game that looks. I mean, we saw Elden Ring running on Switch, which is the big thing, and like
they're comparing
the
graphics side to side. PS5 performance on the left, PS5 Pro on the right. Okay, do I have everything on HD? Quality. Okay, it is 1080p.
I mean, we saw Elden Ring running on Switch 2 here at Gamescom, and it chugs. It doesn't look
For me, it looks the
hot,
same.
And again, that's a PS4 game. Like that. That's an Xbox One game. That is a game that runs on older hardware. This is new hardware. I don't know.
I'm having a tough time. Yeah.
You were so right about going back.
They're like an awkward position, dude.
Like the Xbox controller.
They really want to. They can't say what they really want to say.
It seems to last forever. But
which
I have
is
to charge my DualSense
stop with
like
the
every
graphics
day,
and focus on the gameplay.
But speaking of Xbox, we got the release date for the Xbox ROG Ally X. That's going to be out October 16th, which is less than 2 months away. But they haven't revealed the price yet, which I think is interesting. You can't pre-order it. Less than 2 months away. Can't pre-order it. Won't reveal the price. I don't know. They're going to wait. The fact that this tells me they know it's going to be a niche.
The Rogue.
I also think they're probably going to go low on production for it because they know it's niche. Just because I think
it looks
with
cool.
Everything,
But I wish it was an actual official Xbox handheld.
Price increasing
with his own OS.
Everywhere.
Xbox
right now
OS.
for everything. And, Steam Deck is expensive. This is...
Yeah, dude, the Steam Deck's expensive. But the Switch 2 is expensive too. They're both expensive. That's why I get a Switch 1.
Kind of compete with that in a performance, graphical capabilities perspective. It's going to be more expensive than a Steam Deck, I'm predicting.
The rumor is $900.
Oh.
People are thinking.
That's too steep for me. And I am a collector of consoles, and that's way too steep for me.
For real, dude.
I got to hold one of these for the first time.
Yeah.
Feels great.
They do.
Yeah, I mean, that's expensive. At that point, it's like, well,
$900.
Do you want a handheld? Or do you want to save up for a PC, like a full-fledged one? Like it's kind of
exactly
cool device.
Just get a full-fledged one.
I'm curious if we're going to see, because it's the ROG Ally X. It's there's an Xbox is in there somewhere. I'm wondering if we're ever going to see just like a pure Xbox branded one of these. Like, I mean, we know that they're working with ROG to make the hardware. Microsoft is handling the software side of things.
So it comes with the Xbox button.
It reminds me. This is a
it's
deep
actually
cut.
a
It
Windows
reminds me of the Xperia Play.
operating
Do you remember
system.
that?
Oh my goodness!
It was a PlayStation.
It's running on
phone.
Windows.
Yes.
But it wasn't a PlayStation phone. It came out about 20 minutes before the Vita did.
Dude, I'm glad they're making this because now PlayStation have no choice to make their PSP come back.
And the Vita at launch,
And if they do-
you could buy a phone plan if you want to take that thing on the go.
Yeah.
They do,
3G
and
support
they
thing.
actually
And
execute
it was,
well.
I remember that the Xperia Play. It had like PlayStation buttons.
might
but
save
it was a Sony Ericsson phone.
the gaming
and
industry.
It just felt like it wasn't quite here or there. And I'm
Like
getting
an
like a similar
handheld where
vibe
you
from
could
this
just
one,
do
where it's like,
everything.
I
Play
want it to be an
online,
Xbox
do
handheld,
phone calls,
but it's got
FaceTime,
ROG all over it.
has his
It sort of feels like
webcam,
it feels like.
Just imagine the future of gaming. I'm gonna give you a glimpse of future gaming, guys. Trip out. You got your PlayStation Portal. It has his 1080p webcam in the front. It has his microphone like the PlayStation 5. It has a microphone right here. So it will be like the same thing like this controller. It will have haptic triggers. It'll have a 1080p screen, which is HDR with 120 hertz, and you could do phone calls because you could connect your hotspot. You could do FaceTime. I don't know. They should make it like it should replace your phone. You know, that'd be sick. That'd be the future of gaming. People gaming on the subway right there with their PS Portal, or their new PSP. Yeah, dude, I could really see that.
More than like a
hopefully they do
device.
something like that.
It isn't a first-party device.
All right, let's take a quick pause there. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with plenty more next-gen console watch at Gamescom 2025, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Nice. I think tell more about the Xbox
There were
handheld.
people who were there day one with Stadia.
Yep.
And the Ouya.
Yep.
I wonder what kind of display it has.
I think even the Xperia Play.
Do better.
What display it has? You know, how many frames?
So, okay, we're talking about everything's getting more expensive.
And can you connect this to your TV?
The price of the PS5, the Xbox
Probably not.
went up, the Switch 1 went up. So, Jada.
It ain't the Switch.
If anyone out there is even daydreaming about possibly buying a Nintendo Switch 2 someday, do you think they should pull the trigger now?
Yeah. I mean, prices are just gonna, I think, go up. I think.
Oh, dude, that's very true. Like, if you plan to get Switch 2 later, good luck, dude. It's not gonna go down. Oh, Mario Kart World is not gonna go down. So you're only in luck right now. Damn.
I think Nintendo is
might as well not even get it.
The early install base, like I was saying earlier, to shielding consumers so
This
they
is
can get
an
their install
Xbox.
base as big
Bro,
as possible.
Xbox
because that
Elite
makes or
X.
breaks an entire
It
console
looks cool,
generation.
not gonna lie.
We
It looks
saw what
cool,
happened
but
during the Wii U,
it's
where
not an
they just
Xbox
failed
official
to move
portable.
units. Granted, that was also due to some
but what's the difference? It still plays Xbox
issues
games.
from Nintendo to the fans and the audience. But
it could be big, not
I
gonna
think
lie.
They want the Switch 2 to get as close to the Switch 1's performance and sales numbers as possible. It probably won't because it's more expensive, and
it's not.
I don't think it's gonna get cheaper like the Switch 1 did, and then
the Switch 1 is already successful
I'm sure we'll
enough.
get some
That's
sort
the
of
one.
Switch 2 Lite eventually. That'll be cheaper.
Yeah.
But I think
they have to come up with a new Nintendo now.
Looking for a Switch 2 Lite, probably not for another 2 to 3 years minimum, and by then, the Switch 2 will have probably gone up at least $50.
Yep.
Oh, that's very true.
Yeah, I think
it's gonna become more expensive, even the games.
Reality. Okay, let's switch gears. Our sister site, GamesIndustry.biz, put up an interesting article this week. This is from reporter Lewis.
Imagine no one buys Mario Kart World. It gets discontinued. Same thing with the Switch 2. It gets discontinued. So it becomes this rare console and very expensive. Damn.
Packwood.
That's very
the
possible.
Headline was at Gamescom. It felt like the industry now has a plan: make games quicker. Which I like the sound of that. We've talked a lot about how
games done quick.
Games done quick. We've talked a lot about one of the big narratives this year is it just seems to the development time seems to have just spiraled out of control.
I think right now
particularly
just
with
all
Western developers. They have a really hard time. Ubisoft, Electronic Arts, even like Naughty Dog, they're not getting games out the way the Japanese developers are. Capcom and Square Enix, they seem to be, they're doing okay. Western developers are struggling. Perfect Dark was in development for 7 years, and then they just canceled it.
Yeah. All right. I think that was day 4 of Gamescom live stream 2025. Pretty crazy games, not gonna lie, dude. A lot of crazy games. Damn. I think that's... Will there be a day 5? I never knew there was a Gamescom. I never there was Gamescom 2024. I'm a noob. Will there be a Gamescom 2020? No. Will there be a Gamescom day 5? I think today's the last day. It's Sunday. Why would they make one tomorrow on Monday? All right. Well, anyways, I'm gonna end the stream already. If you watched this or if you're watching, thanks for watching. And if there's a day 5, then I'll probably do a day 5 reaction.